Would you rather not be able to talk or not be able to read?
Ooh, I already can't read, so bam. I'm dyslexic as fuck, so I'll take that every day. It's called the workaround.
I can't wait for the day I can pull my weight and show you that I can.
And here we are. This is the But Peep This podcast.
People, what's good?
We have another week in which we are recording on a different day that we normally record. So last week was the Sunday special, right? Was it the week before? I don't even remember at this point.
Sean needs to get his life together.
I do need to get my life
Sean needs to
together.
get his shit together today. Like, get your schedule together.
We're almost
Figure
there.
it out.
We are almost there.
I did the show last week from New York. I'm just saying.
I mean that's fine. If I could do the show from Louisiana, I would, because that's where I'm going to be starting tomorrow. I'm going to be in Louisiana. It's my sister's high school graduation. Shout out Aaron. It's a very strange thing to say.
Right. I remember when she was itty bitty. What was she saying? When we would do karaoke at Dylan's.
Oh my God.
She would sing songs.
She would sing Need You Now by Lady Antebellum. She would sing she sang Rolling in the Deep once. She did some stuff like that. She did White Wedding by Billy Idol once.
White Wedding.
Yeah, for some reason. But yeah, she did. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she could do it now, but she did it back in the day. And with that being said, this guest obviously has some interesting knowledge on my life, and that's because our guest for this week is a friend of mine that I've been friends with for 2010. I think it's been about that long.
Forever.
His brother will have on the show at some point in time as well. I went to school with him since like 4th grade. I don't even think he remembers that. But his older brother, a good friend of mine, I got some crazy stories about this man right here. He does comedy. He does music. He is an incredible individual. Somebody who I always have nothing but positive things to say about. And has also had nothing but positive things to say about us as well. Mr. Thomas Jones from my hometown of Luling, Louisiana. Welcome, Thomas. Even though Thomas, you're technically not from Luling, actually, but we can.
But close enough. It's that thing. And the thing is, like, whenever I go out of town to do comedy, I tell people I'm from New Orleans, even though I live in Kenner.
Truly.
And it's that thing where it's like, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Kenner. Where's Kenner? About 30 minutes outside of New Orleans. Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're just like, New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans.
Exactly. All of us are from New Orleans, unless you're from Baton Rouge. And you're from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you're either from New Orleans, Baton Rouge, or Houma.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nowhere else.
There's really not too many other places. Unless you're really proud of where you are from, which is, we can get into that one another day.
Y'all make New Orleans sound so fucking lame.
New Orleans is great.
You guys make
where we grew up sucks.
Sound so lame.
Yeah, where we grew up was lame as fuck. It's that small town, small town life, like right outside of the city. You have drunk teenagers that are always just like, hey, this Saturday we're gonna try and get into the Oz. We're gonna try and get into Cat's Meow. And then you go and like, here, sir, here's my fake ID. Let me in, please. And they're like, no, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Sean didn't grow a beard till 2014, so he looked 12 until he was 20.
No, Thomas, look, if there's anybody who knows what a beard has done for me as a person, it would be Mr. Thomas Jones right here. Because there are some pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Of not only it's me without a beard, but how skinny I used to be, which I was looking at some pictures. I look dead.
Oh, dude.
Thomas, I'm gonna need you to send me some of those pictures so that our viewers can see.
Oh, indeed. I will find some of those pictures.
I'm thinking of a throwback Thursday. Where see,
Throwback
first of all,
Thursday.
you got no dirt on me. You got nothing because nobody's gonna give you photos of me.
I got one
So,
picture of you. I got
listen,
one.
Listen, my circle is solid. You're not calling my wife.
Yeah.
You're not getting nothing.
Yeah.
My circle is solid.
Yeah, Mr. When You Wish Upon a Star. I got you. Don't worry.
Solid.
I still got that picture. So
Wait,
don't worry
wish
about
upon a star. What are you even talking about?
it. When you sit down on your front porch and you like standing out on the doorway, you're like looking up towards the sky, and it looks like you're singing a rendition of When You Wish Upon a Star. from
like 8 years ago.
No, this wasn't 8 years ago. That was like, I mean, you look like you were in middle school.
Okay.
I have it.
Sure, post it.
That was when we still communicated on GroupMe. Yeah.
Anyways, dad joke.
Dad jokes.
What would Tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common?
No clue.
They're both parasites.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. That's good.
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. One more. What do you call a factory that makes okay parts?
I don't know.
Satisfactory.
Satisfactory.
Okay, sad.
Satisfactory. Okay. All right.
Can I try one this week?
Wait, let me get one. I gotta get one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Thomas. The
Okay.
comedian. What you got?
All right. Have you ever heard of two dogs having makeup sex? It's rough. You ever heard two dogs having makeup sex in a tree? It's all bark, bark, bark.
Oh my God.
Shout out to a local comedian, Byron Broussard.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh man. Wait, hold on. Wait, I got one this week.
Give it to us.
Oh, okay.
What do you call a bear with no ears? A bee.
Yep. Do it. God damn it.
That's your first and last time doing the dad joke. You grounded for 2 weeks. You can't do another. No.
Can I get one more? One more.
Okay. Redeem yourself.
How do you make a hot dog stand? You take away its chair. We don't have to spend any more time on this. We'll move on.
No. Absolutely not. No. Everybody listening, no. You don't get to do dad jokes for 2 weeks.
You were in timeout, mister.
Yeah, you're in timeout, sir.
You're in comedy jail.
What's that?
Never again.
Oh God. All right, so do you want to get my wrongness out the way now, or do you want to?
Hey, hold on. Let me hydrate first.
All right, go ahead. So I'll get the viewers going. So I want to say 3 episodes ago.
5 episodes ago.
5 episodes ago. It's crazy that we did that on the first episode.
First episode.
God damn.
Well, 6 episodes ago because this is episode 7.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. All right. So on our very first episode, and the second episode too, because we had Cam on there as well.
Mm-hmm.
We did with Cam as well. So we did this 2 episodes. We did our NBA playoff predictions. And we haven't checked in since. We've thrown some comments out here and there, but if you've been following along like we have, you would know that for the first round, I was on it. I had all the predictions for the first round. This fucking round, I don't think I got one right. Because the Heat won, the Celtics won. Oh, I'm sorry, I got one. The Warriors won. And the fucking Mavs won. And so now I got to sit up here and, like normal, sit here and go, not only was I wrong, I was so wrong that I can't even attempt to defend myself. The Suns got blown up by 33 in game 7, which I don't really have a lot to say about Luka right now. I just want to say for the record, Luka might be the closest thing we had to Kobe Bryant, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you on that one. I know a lot of people are trying to compare him to Larry Bird. It's only because he's white. Kobe was a guy who, regardless of who he had on the floor, could score at will. Could just score at will and get like a 10 assists every so often. Luka last night had in 30 minutes scored 33 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, it was like 10 assists and like 9 or like 7 or 9 rebounds. Dude's fucking phenomenal. But the person I'm most surprised about, and where I need to say, I'm not necessarily going to say I was wrong, because I did say at the beginning of the season I wanted to see how he did in the playoffs before I said anything. Mr. Tatum. So Mr. Tatum, if you're watching this, I apologize, because you are one of the top 5 players in this league right now. And I did not show you the respect that you deserve. Because you have, I'm not going to say single-handedly, but you have handled probably the two of the top 3 players in this league right now, and handled them well. So I think we need to have a conversation, and more people need to have a conversation about how Jason Tatum is like top 5 in this league, because this kid's fantastic. And at this point, y'all have nothing to lose. Y'all have proven everything that y'all need to prove. So all of the pressure is on the Miami Heat, which is why I have the Celtics winning in 6. And the Warriors winning in winning in like 5 or 6.
Golden State swept. Golden State for the sweep. Boston for the sweep. Golden State in 5 to win the ship.
You have Golden State sweeping just the Mavs. And after everything Luka did, you don't think he's got one?
Golden State sweeps. Boston sweeps. Golden State in 5.
I mean, I've had Golden State winning the. Well, no, I had.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I didn't. I do now, but I did have them go into the finals. But I think it's so funny that we sat there and had to, people tried to sit there and say, "Oh, Golden State doesn't have what it takes to really move on." They had everything the whole time, and that's what every team didn't have. Milwaukee got a tough break. I'm going to sit there and say that with Chris Middleton, it wouldn't have gone that way. It wouldn't have gone that way. Now, we'll never know that because Chris Middleton's hurt, but yeah, it wouldn't have gone that way.
I recall you saying that Chris Middleton playing and Chris Middleton not playing wouldn't have mattered.
I did.
In the first series. So keep that same energy in your wrongness. Don't try
I'm aware now that that's a wrong statement. I didn't realize how important Chris Middleton was to that team. Personally, I thought Drew Holiday was a little more important. Boy, was I fucking wrong. So yeah, we're gonna lead off the show today with by me saying I'm wrong.
Good.
But yeah,
that's good.
But yeah, from
knowing
here,
it's half the battle.
Yeah,
I like
from here,
Picasso.
From here, I have the Celtics in 6. I have the Warriors in about 5 or 6. I'm leaning more towards 5, but 5 or 6. And then the Warriors winning it all. I just don't think the Celtics have it, personally. I don't think anybody in the East has it now that Milwaukee's out. But I don't know. Jason Tatum has proven me wrong twice now. So I don't know at this point. I will say this, though. And I had this conversation, and I want to bring this up. So the Heat in this playoff so far have beaten a Hawks team that nobody really thought should be there, and a Sixers team that was incredibly banged up. Meanwhile, the Celtics have beaten a Brooklyn team that not a lot of people had them beating, and then a Milwaukee team that not a lot of people had them beating. And now those two teams face each other. I think the Celtics have nothing to lose, and I think the Heat have everything to lose. Because if the Heat lose this, it's going to be that they didn't belong there in the first place. Personally. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Miami was a 2 seed in the East, weren't they?
They were, but I mean, I knew a lot of people who bounced Miami out like by the Hawks. And a lot of people think the Hawks didn't have them in there. And then when Miami played the Sixers, I know I had the Sixers beating them. Now, of course, I think a healthy Joel is not going to lose to, like, you know, Boston. But, I mean, not Boston, Miami. But here we are.
You realize that Atlanta has literally the worst defense in the league, right?
Yeah. I didn't have Atlanta beating the Heat.
I'm stuck on, if Miami loses in the Eastern Conference Finals, people are going to say they didn't deserve to be there. I don't think that that's true.
I think a lot of people will sit there and say the team was overrated. Because think about Miami to this point. The only playoff success that Miami has had to this point has been the bubble season. Right? Because you had the bubble season. What they do last year. They got bounced out in like the first or second round. And now here we are. They made it past the second round. But if you get bounced out again, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Bam, you have this team that is supposed to be really good. I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same conversation that the Phoenix Suns are having. We're supposed to be this really good team. What's going on?
It's the playoffs, Sean. All the teams playing are really good teams.
But the Heat and the Suns stood out, or they were supposed to at least.
How so?
Well, everybody talked about how the Heat had this super deep bench and all of this talent, and how I know a lot of people who had the Heat who have the Heat winning the whole thing. A lot of people
In Florida.
Outside of Florida, like analysts I've seen, a lot of people have the Heat winning. A lot of people think the Heat are a very talented team. And I think they are too. But if you lose again, I think you got to start to have a conversation of, do we move pieces now? Because it's obviously not working.
In Miami.
Yeah.
Where they were a 2 seed this year.
Yes. You think Phoenix isn't going to look at their team this season and go, what do we need to do to be better? Because this was the run.
No.
So blowing that 2-0 lead is not going to be a factor. They're going to be like, we're going to run the whole thing back.
Blowing a 2-0 lead. I mean, they may move DeAndre Ayton. But
that's one of the pieces.
They're not going to rebuild.
No, I'm not saying rebuild. It's not
going to be anything major. They may draft a center.
Yeah, you go big on, like, you either go big on a draft pick, you make a trade to get a higher draft pick, or you go get like some kind of free agent that might be able to bring some stuff in. Like, for example, this is what I would do personally if I were the Phoenix Suns. I would try to get a trade together for Damian Lillard.
And ship out who?
Chris Paul.
Why would you do that?
Because Chris Paul is 37 years old. He is a great player and will have another team that he could play for. But I think it's very apparent that it's kind of like James Harden. He's old and he can't do it like he used to. So if you're going to build a team, you can't build it around Paul or Harden.
Like, okay.
You got to build around other pieces.
Do it like he used to. Like, what do you mean by that?
Chris Paul, especially in that game, you could see his defense was very slow. Like, he can't stay in front of people. And then when he's trying to get around people, he was struggling to do so. Why? Because he's 37. And that's fine. One day LeBron's going to wake up eventually, maybe, if his cybernetic enhancements wear off. I don't know. One day he'll wake up and he'll be old.
No,
Everybody
he'll get that Tom Brady disease and just be good forever.
Yeah, I truly don't know. He's a freak of nature. But like I don't know. Like, you look at James Harden and we go, yeah, James Harden is this player, but then you watch him and it's like, he doesn't look like the James Harden that like we would have traded for, or he doesn't look like the James Harden that like we should have had, or that we feel like we got. And I think with Chris Paul, you get the same thing, because the Phoenix Suns also need to have this conversation of, we have been this perennial upper seed playoff team for 3 years now. We brought in this guy who has changed our fortunes, but now has furthered his record of having the most 2-0 playoff, like having the most 2-0 playoff leads and blowing them. That's a problem, because you got Devin Booker, who everybody wants to lean on and sit there and say, this is the guy. So if that's the guy, then you build around him. But Chris Paul can't be the guy. You got to go get somebody like a Drew Holiday or like a Dame, who has the athletic ability to be able to play with these athletic guards now. Because Chris Paul, he's just old. And that's fine. Ship him off to, like, I don't know. Ship him off to the Trailblazers, where you could bring in a bunch of young pieces, center them around Chris Paul, have Chris Paul be that leader in the locker room that you want him to be, and start building a team that way. But I don't
kind of like what Phoenix did.
Yeah, but now it's time for Chris Paul to move on, because he's not getting it done. You had to do it this year. You had to. If you didn't do it this year, a lot of that, like this was it. You think Chris Paul's going to play like this next year? 38 years old, a bunch of playoff defeats, age. You think he'll play like this next year? You're assuming he's coming back. What happens if he retires? Is anybody going to sit there and go, oh, if Chris Paul retires, then that's it? I mean, like, we're going to be shocked if Chris Paul retires? I mean, if you're Phoenix, you have to do something. And you have all your other pieces, you need a guard. If you think Devin Booker's your number one, fine, build around him. But I don't think you put Devin Booker as your number one. I think you put Devin Booker in like a Klay Thompson scenario, where you make him a strong number two, a very strong number two, potentially one of the best, and get somebody like a Dame or like a De'Aaron Fox or somebody like that. Because you have a team that's ready to compete. You just need a guard that's going to get you there. You need pieces that's going to get you there, because right now you're not doing it. There's no reason the Grizzlies should have beat Phoenix. None. There's no reason that the Pelicans should have came as close as they did to beating Phoenix. You're a number one seed. You're supposed to have the best team in this league. You were the best team in this league. I think it's a disappointment. I think you lose at this point. You don't even make the Western Conference Finals. I think that's a major letdown.
I disagree with you. For as soon as you mentioned Memphis, I disagree, because you had me sold a little bit on them trading CP3, but you forget Memphis closed the season out winning 20 or 22.
Okay.
Without Ja.
I'm aware.
Okay. you're talking about it. Memphis is a team that stood out, not Miami, not Philly, not Boston, Memphis. Okay, maybe, yeah, they move on. Maybe they move CP3. I don't think they're going to go out and get a Lillard because I think Dame is going to LA personally. But I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe a Kyrie.
Oh God, no. God, no.
Maybe
God.
maybe a Donovan Mitchell or something like that.
See, I think that's also a good one too.
But I personally wouldn't move Paul. Personally, I would move Ayton, but
why Ayton though? I've seen a lot of people saying that. Why move Ayton? What's wrong with Ayton? What's the thing with Ayton?
In my opinion, if you're looking at a what's wrong with that team, actually, I think I would package Crowder and Ayton.
And what would you want in return?
I would.
Would you go draft or would you want free agent?
No, I would go free agent.
So let's put a package together. Ayton and Crowder for center power forward. What you get?
Give me Porzingis and Hachimura from Washington.
So then your starting five for Phoenix then becomes Paul, Booker. Who's at the 3?
Crowder was 3.
So who would you put there then?
Hachimura is a forward.
Okay, so Hachimura, Porzingis, and then you draft a 5.
Yeah.
Okay. You could take a lot of the scoring stuff off of Paul. You got a little bit of an injury concern with Porzingis. But I mean, Phoenix has some of, if you look at Phoenix sports as like Arizona sports as a whole, they got some good like medical trainers and stuff out there to where people don't get injured a ton or they don't stay injured too much. I look at like the Arizona Cardinals, for example. They do pretty well with injury. So you got good bones there at least. I still think you have something to address with Chris Paul's defense. I still think there's something to address there.
I don't think so.
You think Chris Paul is a solid defender?
I don't think it matters.
I would love to hear this one.
I don't.
So you want Paul to go out there and score then?
Pretty much.
Okay. So
I want him to go out there and move the ball.
So it's going to be 38 next year. Look up Kobe Bryant's numbers when he was 38. His shooting percentage.
Kobe didn't play until it was 38.
He played 37 to 38, one or two. I had this conversation with my students the other day, and we looked it up. I know it was close because I thought he died at like 40, but he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Or he died.
Kobe
Or he
was
did. No,
41.
I thought he died at like 42. That's what it was. Yeah, Kobe played too. It's like 38, 37, 38.
No, Kobe didn't.
When did Kobe stop playing?
Kobe retired when he was 35.
When he was 35.
35.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't really have anybody else off the top of my head who played when at 38.
Thank you.
I'll concede that one. All I'm going to say, I don't think we're going to get the same Chris Paul next year.
And don't you ever in your rabbit ass life ever compare Kobe to CP3 again? I'll come through this screen and smack
I
you.
wasn't trying to compare him.
Yes, exactly what you. That's
what I
literally
will
what
say
you just
though.
did.
Well, I'm a segue that one. You didn't give me a lot of pushback when I said that Luka is the closest thing to Kobe that we're gonna get.
For right now, I'll give you that.
I don't think anybody.
Right now, I'll give you that.
Yeah. You know, I watched.
I think it's Ja personally, but I'll give you Luka as an option.
Ja, and I've said this on this podcast. Ja reminds me of like first like 2 years in the NBA Kobe.
That's still Kobe.
It is, but when I think of Luka, I think of like prime Kobe, like fadeaway jump shot, like Kobe, not drive to the rim Kobe, which are two different Kobes. I'm talking like 8 and 24. Ja reminds me of 8. Luka reminds me of 24. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying those are two different eras of Kobe. I've been watching some clips lately. I found this like YouTube channel that like will go through and do like highlights of like different things. And I'm watching like Kobe play, like from like back in the day, like when he played like in like his second year against Michael Jordan. Like it was like what it was like 2000, 2001.
1999.
It was 99.
His second year.
Yeah. Yeah. So he played in like 99 against Jordan. In the game that he like did there where like the Lakers got blown out. It was like 103 to like 86. But Jordan scored 32, Jordan scored 36, Kobe scored like 32. And like they interviewed Jordan afterwards and he was like, yeah, I gave him some advice on how to shoot. You know, everybody was like, you know, you're looking at like the present and the future right here. Because that was when everybody thought Jordan was going to play basketball for forever. Then he didn't. Then he went to play baseball. But yeah, I was watching some clips of Kobe. I've always been a huge Kobe person. I always thought he's one of the best basketball players of all this earth. And I think anybody who says otherwise just doesn't get it personally. But I see a lot more of that in like that like Mamba Kobe and like Luka. Whereas Ja Morant, I see like that, like still like super skinny, but can get to the rim at any point in time and still have a little bit of a jump shot. Because I think another good comp for Ja Morant would be like a Dwayne Wade, but with a better jump shot. But that's just me personally.
All right. We'll put a pin in that. Okay. Thomas. Would you rather not be able to talk or not be able to read?
Ooh, I already can't read. So bam. I'm dyslexic as fuck. So I'll take that every day. It's called the workaround.
That might be the intro for the show. I'm just
I wasn't ready for that.
That might be the intro.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that.
Jesus.
I'm gonna say talk because I can't imagine not being able to read.
Oh man, like because I can't say not talk because that's how I make a lot of my spare money. I'm in the industry of words, and you know nowadays it's I know what McDonald's is like. There's a picture on everything. Why would I need to read?
Yeah, I'm kind of
give me burger.
Yeah, I'm kind of more on the boat of I would rather not be able to read than talk because even if I could read, I wouldn't be able to convey anything that I've read. Like I wouldn't.
I didn't say you'd have the ability to not be able to write.
I mean, you can write, but what, you're gonna walk around all day and write stuff? You know, people don't want to read as it is in this day and age. They're gonna sit there. Who's this crazy son of a bitch is sitting there walking around with a dry erase board saying, "Can you please pass me the salt?" Just say something. You know, like it's not gonna. You
can learn sign language.
I was gonna say there are like ways around that, but
how many people know sign language though?
A good number of people in this.
A lot, but
not enough.
Not enough. It's not enough. You might be able to run across like one or two people maybe a week who know how to truly speak sign language to be able to get you where you need to go.
So I have a funny story about that. We were at an open mic, and one of the comedians, he does the joke about living in South Central LA and going to a school that had like a lot of gang problems, and one of the students there being deaf and doing sign language, and people thinking he's throwing up gang signs. And while he was doing that joke, there was a lady in the crowd who is an ALS interpreter. So he invited her on stage, and she signed out the whole bit. And the best part was when he was like, he says, "Nigga, what?" And he's like, "I want to see if she signs it. I want to see what it looks like."
That was oh God, what was I going to say?
Okay, well, let's try this one. Let's try this one. Would you rather be blind or deaf? Deaf, not deaf. Deaf.
I'd rather be blind.
Blind.
I'd rather be blind.
Deaf.
So here's the thing. So this is a crazy thing I do, but I just kind of assume one day that I'm probably going to go blind. Just because a lot of people in my family have kind of like really lost their sight over time. I also like to think like, what's going to happen if I go blind? And so I have like, in different scenarios, like I know how to navigate my house without opening my eyes. I know how to take a shower without opening my eyes. I know how to do a lot of stuff without opening my eyes because I just get bored and I'm like, what would happen if my eyes got poked out tomorrow?
I'm gonna navigate my house and with my eyes closed. You need to get a hobby. Your ass needs to get a hobby. You need to read a book.
But the thing is, it makes this question easy.
That may be the dumbest shit you ever said on this podcast.
He's like, I've memorized my house. I can definitely
my
do this
house
outside
with my eyes closed. Like, why?
I don't know.
Oh, in case I go blind. Okay, what if you move from that apartment? So every apartment that you move to, every place you live from here on out, you're gonna learn the layout.
I've done this at every place I've lived.
I've
done this every place I've lived. I did this in my house. Like I guarantee I can navigate my childhood house. I can navigate my dad's trailer. I could navigate. I can't navigate my mom's house because that's a newer place. I can navigate my apartment in Georgia. I can navigate my apartment in Hammond, and I can navigate this place. I can navigate my apartment in Riverside when I lived in the first time I lived in Riverside in Jacksonville. Navigate the Arlington apartment. I could think about this off the top of my head. I've done this every time.
That's fucking dumb.
Nah, that's what it is.
every time, everywhere you move.
Every time I've done
it. I'm sorry. You know what I gotta do? I gotta close my eyes and navigate this place.
I mean, it's not like an immediate. It's not like the first thing I do when I come in.
Stupid. How do we know that?
From the hallway to the bathroom, it's 6.5 steps.
17
Exactly.
Steps. 3 centimeters to the left is a light switch.
Okay, fine. Y'all want to both feel like some dicks? Here you go. So I get chronic migraines, right? So there are times if I have a migraine that I don't want to see the light going on. So I just I sleep with a sleep mask. I'm also going to say for the record, my sleep mask does have headphones in them, so I can listen to stuff while I go to sleep. It is what it is. I got it at Target.
That defeats the purpose of getting rid of a migraine, right?
It's not the point. I have one.
That is literally the point you're trying to make.
I have one that's not. I'm coming back.
Wait. I'm not sure. I have migraines. I sleep with a sleep mask, but I also have Bluetooth music.
Yeah, I also listen to Mo Bamba on this thing.
Right. Like, no, hold on. Because I got a migraine.
Okay.
So I want to be able to navigate in the dark.
Okay, so
I want to be able to hear my music.
So here's the one that has headphones. Right. You can't see them obviously, but
those are dope.
Little thing right there. Right. I'm not going to put them on currently, but I do have one that does not have headphones in it. See? So so if I have the migraine, I use the migraine one. If I don't have a migraine, I use this one. See how that works?
I still think it's fucking dumb.
It's not that complicated, but there are times where when you have a migraine, like everything is like amplified. So there are times, but like I got to get up and I got to get something to drink because I feel like I'm dying. So I get up and instead of taking my mask off, I just keep it on.
Because you
walk where I need
memorize
to
the
go.
layout of your house in the dark.
Well, because I've had to, because I it's either that or be in like major pain to where I want to bang my head against the wall. So, you know. And then one day I was like, I could, you know, in case, because like, so my favorite football player of all time is Terrell Davis. I don't know if I've ever had this conversation with anybody, but it's Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis, running back, number 30 for the Broncos. Typically known for the fact that he caught a migraine during the Super Bowl and scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl while blind. They told him, hey, hit the tackle here. He said, I can't see. They said, all you got to do is run exactly the way that you know how to do it. He did, and he scored a touchdown. Right. So Terrell Davis gets migraines. He gets cluster migraines. Cluster migraines are like three times worse than like anything else.
No cluster migraines.
But they make you have temporary blindness. And so, like, there are times where like you can't fucking see. Well, if I can't see, I mean, for me, I'm like, I'm not gonna just like stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna find a way around it. So I learned to navigate my house while
you know what, Sean, you know what you reminded me of? Thomas, I'm a huge Tarantino fan. So how many times have you seen Django Unchained?
Oh, like 1,000.
Okay. When Sean talks about navigating this house, I just go, I can't see fucking shit out of this thing. I watch my wife make math for you ungrateful sons of bitches, and all I hear is criticize. That's what you are, Sean.
I'm the one I'm not being criticized. I mean, I'm being criticized. I'm not the one doing the criticizing.
The mask was a good idea.
The mask was a good idea.
Not calling any names. It could have been done better.
It could have.
So how about no mask this time? Next time. Okay.
So anyway, I would rather be blind than deaf, also because I like music. And so I don't want to go without music. Excuse me. Now, if I go blind, I'd have to give up video games, which is tough, but I can figure it out. Yeah, I can figure it out.
I'm going deaf.
If you go deaf, you can still play video games.
Right, but my biggest fear is being blind and somebody just smacking me in the back of the head and I not know who it was.
Fair.
So
that's why at the end of your cane, you like press a button that has a knife and you just start swinging it around. Nobody will do it ever again. They'll be terrified.
Okay, Sean, here's one. Lick one toilet seat or 10,000 random cell phones.
Couple of questions.
Where is this toilet seat?
Very big factor in this.
Gas station. Truck stop, gas station.
See, because you said random phones, but you didn't say random toilet seat.
One toilet seat at a Love's gas station right off the interstate. Or I give you one better. 1,000 payphones, assuming that payphones are still around and being heavily used. I'll go first. Give me the toilet seat. I ain't got that much time. Do you walk around licking phones?
That's the thing here is the time.
Give me the toilet seat. I ain't got time.
The time that
I'm gonna have to go toilet seat because I already eat ass, and it's kind of like licking like brownie batter off of a spoon. Yeah, it's not exactly a brownie, but it's close enough.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna go through this whole section and pull something for the intro. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna pick. There's gonna be something in here. I know that much. I think I'm gonna go toilet seat as well. However, I'm going to justify it in a couple of different ways. I don't know a single person that cleans their cell phone. And I would say that I probably know or have met about 10,000 people.
I clean my cell phone once a week. I pull
Once
the
a
case
week.
off. I pull my case off.
You are the only person I know who does that. I do mine probably once every 3 months.
I work in hazardous waste.
That's that's fantastic.
That's
It doesn't change what I'm saying. Like most people don't. I'll tell you what, if you clean your cell phone, get in the comments. Let me know how often you clean your cell phone and when, and like in relation to if you've ever done it. Because I know a lot of people that haven't. So because of that, I know a lot of people who drop their phones everywhere. So by proxy, if I am licking a cell phone, I'm also licking damn near every fucking place that they've been. On top of the fact that you got people's dogs, you got their animals, you got people to wash their hands after using the bathroom, which, you know, it seems a little mute in this, you know, scenario. But so with that being said, a gas station bathroom or a truck stop bathroom, to go one step further, you would have had me a little bit more of saying like a mobile, like gas station bathroom, because them things don't ever get cleaned. But I would venture to say that a truck stop bathroom gets cleaned a little bit more than a gas station bathroom. So I got a little bit better of a chance.
Okay.
A little bit better of a chance. Not much.
I agree. You run the risk of the toilet being clean at the time of the lick.
I got a little bit better of a chance than with the cell phones. So I'm also going to go toilet seat.
Y'all some nasty motherfuckers, man. I don't know what to say.
You said the same thing. But I mean, I didn't say the ass eating comment. That ain't got nothing.
Listen.
I don't know why I didn't see it coming. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why I didn't see it coming.
That's Thomas. Views and opinions expressed on But Peep This the podcast do not necessarily affect or reflect the views and opinions of the host.
Lionel, you don't eat ass?
No.
You should try it. It's like putting your tongue on a 9-volt battery. Like they tell you not to do it, but then you do it, and it shocks you, and you're like, "Oh no!" I kind of want to do it again. The game has changed out here.
Listen.
I'm gonna mute myself because I'm not gonna be able to stop laughing.
I'm a married man. That's it. Like, and if you met my wife, which I mean, eventually, I guess you will. That's. I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, I've never licked a 9-volt battery, so I don't even like, and I'm not even gonna go like find one to lick it and be like, oh, that's what Thomas is talking about. No.
Oh God.
This is what y'all do in Louisiana? Capture the flag and licking batteries? Y'all.
Man.
Ain't nothing else to do.
Absolutely not.
Don't get into the other stuff that we used to do.
Oh,
that's a whole other thing. Got more of these lines?
I'm scared.
Eddie, that wasn't. You gotta be careful.
I'm scared.
Oh God.
I got a couple, but never mind. We can
move on or just get done?
I'm scared. I'm scared. Would you rather lick a toilet seat or payphone? Well, I eat ass, so toilet seat. Like, easy. Yeah, let's get up out of here. Let's get up out of here.
Sean, no. Sean, your students watch this, right? Oh man, this is awful.
Mr. Finn, you eat ass. Oh, well, he gonna go. Listen. Hey, yo, straight up. Like, I don't know if you know this, Thomas. Like, you've been friends with him a lot longer than me. If you ask Sean a question, and he asks you the same question back, you got him. He's uncomfortable as hell.
Notice I didn't comment on that. Anyway,
Yeah, let's. Do y'all have one?
oh my jaw, God. Oh,
Do y'all have one?
No.
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 We good.
whew.
I don't think we're gonna play this game again.
I think we need to play this again when we bring Mike on. I think that we need to bring Mike on. I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
You give them the exact same questions.
I'm
No,
tripping.
please.
I'm tripping.
Oh God. Whew.
Oh man.
All right.
Like Thomas just admitted to eating shit on this
No,
podcast.
No,
come on.
Time out. Wait.
No, ain't no
We're
time
not getting into a discourse about eating ass on this.
Man
podcast.
said brownie
Watch me.
batter. Man said brownie batter.
Okay, I mean,
I
he
did say brownie
that.
batter.
He did say that. Okay, but that
All
was
Maybe that was too much of an apt description.
Nah, but we're gonna acknowledge that.
we acknowledge.
Alright.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
put it on the board.
It's acknowledged,
Oh,
and we're gonna move on. Okay.
Whew.
Like I'm scared to ask him any unpopular opinions on anything now.
I mean, we got
man.
to though.
Like,
All right, Thomas. We're gonna give you the floor. So we've asked all of our guests so far unpopular opinions on music and unpopular opinions on food. Where do you want to
Okay.
start?
We'll start with my unpopular opinions on music.
Okay, let's go.
I have two that are very strong.
Two that are very strong. So here we go.
All right. So my first unpopular music opinion is Coldplay doesn't suck. You just want to hate on something.
oh, shout out to my listen. You 100% got my support. Shout out to Coldplay. Like, I don't who was out here saying Coldplay is trash. That's
A lot of
Right,
people.
like yeah, that's
of
like a
people.
big meme now.
What?
Like
It is. Yeah.
people, like the two bands that I think that people shit on a lot that really haven't done anything wrong are Coldplay
and
and
Nickelback.
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 Bro,
Yeah,
Nickelback
exactly.
Nickelback's solid, and they've been
So this is
solid.
what I'll say. Nickelback is what happens when you have executives that say, okay, what's popular right now?
Correct.
Let's form that band.
Yep.
And that's okay. That's how music works sometimes. There was Sonic Youth was a punk band that was made right when Sid Vicious, what was that band? Shit.
Sex Pistols.
Sex Pistols. When the Ramones were getting really good, they were like, okay, well, we need to capture this. Because at the time, like a lot of these groups that are coming out of punk music. So the reason why punk music is as aggressive and sounds the way it does is because like 1 year for like an award show, a band like Simon and Garfunkel won like best rock album, and people were pissed about that. They're like, fucking rock. And then they developed punk music. We got to thank people like the Bad Brains, a band called Death. Something that happened, and I'll just put this out real quick. A lot of people think that rock music isn't for Black people. Black people invented rock.
Invented.
Shout out.
Invented, and not only
it comes
that,
from
still like
and-
lead the charge.
and not
in it,
just-
to be honest.
right, and not just like the idea that jazz and the blues became rock music. I mean, one of the first punk bands that was really doing it was a band called Death, an all Black band out of New York. And
Yep.
there are Black people all around rock music. And so because rock music is popular and, executives like money, they're willing to fabricate a band so that we can have something to enjoy. And I think at the time, Nickelback was very radio friendly and radio popular because that's the way they were made. So people shit on that because they felt like they had no bite. But in all reality, when it comes to music, I mean, if you're playing good music, you're making good music.
You know what that sounds a lot like to me? Sounds like the Sugar Hill Gang.
Ooh. Ah.
We'll put a pin in that, Sean. Let me get that second unpopular music opinion.
I think people hate on Taylor Swift and BTS mostly because they think it's fun to pick on little girls.
I like it.
Listen,
Taylor's.
I like
I'm
it.
gonna tell you this.
I like it.
I don't listen.
I like it.
You let blank space come on while I'm driving. Or it's like, hey yo, like if I catch it like on XM radio, like, hey yo, run that shit back. Shout out. I agree.
And Taylor Swift, I feel like maybe her newer music. Okay, so Taylor Swift now is not. I'm not gonna say she's bad, but I think Taylor Swift kind of wants to be Lady Gaga, and she's not Lady Gaga. She needs to. I feel like and I've kind of experienced this, like when I'm writing music, depending on when I was writing music. But there's this thing inside of you that's like, I want to evolve. I want to do something new. And there are parts of you that are like, no, I want to do what people like, what people started liking me for. And I feel like she tried to make this. So she made the jump from country to pop, and that was really good. I think she did a really good job doing that. And I think where a lot of that hate comes from, honestly, the night where Kanye West grabbed the mic from her, I think a lot of people were like, yeah, now I have reason to disrespect her because, yeah, I will admit, I do think Beyonce should have won. I think she should have won over Taylor Swift, but music, the Academy's weird like that. We don't know. But I feel like when Kanye did that, people saw that and they were like, all right, so all the feelings that I already had are founded. And I think this is a pro Kanye podcast. And, you know, when Kanye says something, you tend to think about it for a second. And I think people took a lot of that and they started running with it. But the truth is, like, yeah, she makes music for little girls and gay men. I mean, which is cool. You have your base. But then she came out with like that song, "Oh, look what you made me do." Look, and I thought that's bad. It was really bad. And around that time, I felt like there were other pop stars that were doing it better. I think Selena Gomez had her song "Sleeping with the Wolves" or some shit. It was a song that she did with Dado. Not Dado. Who's that guy's name? He died recently. But then also at the same time,
DJ?
Yeah, the DJ. He died,
Was it Avicii?
Yeah, Avicii. Yeah, I don't know why I said Dado. But she did that song with Avicii. Selena Gomez had that song with Avicii out at that time.
It Ain't Me. No, you're thinking of Kygo.
I'm thinking of Kygo.
Yeah, because I think she had a song with Kygo, "It Ain't Me," which is like one of the coldest songs I think of the year.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, I think like we in America, it's fun to pick on little girls sometimes. So we tend to like just shit on anything that they like. And I think Taylor Swift is a really good artist. I think she does what she does. And I think BTS is a really good boy band. And something that not a lot of people know about me is I love a good boy band. And I think their music's hot. I think they make fun dance music to listen in the car when you're driving, you know, fucking 2 hours.
Who's the best boy band out there?
Whew, man, best boy band.
On the spot right now, 10 seconds. Let's go.
I'm gonna say NSYNC. NSYNC, they had more memorable songs, more memorable band members. And at the end of the day, And I think at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that they did, they really played up to the tropes of boy bands, where you have the bad boy and you have the cute one,
The
and you have
sensitive
the mysterious one. Yeah, they played that real hard. Backstreet Boys are good. They're very memorable, but Backstreet Boys kind of stayed with that whole, oh, we're all boys and we're hanging out and we're having fun. But it wasn't until like NSYNC that really started doing the whole, oh no, we all have separate personalities and we all do our different things, but we come together to sing.
Hey, yo, are we American Dad fans in this podcast?
Oh, we talk about Boys 12, the second greatest boy band.
You want to know who knows that song by heart? Hillary. Like, straight up.
Interesting.
Somebody made a post and they said like, how come like boy bands and animated shows are always so fire?
Can we talk about a boy? Was it Boys for Now from Bob's Burgers?
Boys for Now is definitely
Fantastic.
Such a good name.
Absolutely
such
fantastic.
a good name.
Fantastic. Bob's Burgers is such a great show. I want to throw that out there if anybody who hasn't watched it.
Shout out to Bob's Burgers.
God, I love the damn show. It's so good. It's so good. I'm like 3 seasons behind, but it's so good. So smart. So not too smart like The Simpsons, but not too dumb like Family Guy. Plays in the middle and is better than Archer. I'm just gonna say that, you know.
Archer is trash. Like,
ooh, I'm gonna have to fight you on that one.
Archer,
nah.
Archer.
I think Archer does a really interesting thing. It hit me in the same place. Have you ever watched? It was like an old show from I think like early '90s, late '80s. It was called Get Smart.
I didn't watch Get Smart, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So like Get Smart is very much the whole antithesis. It's the antithesis of James Bond, the 007 archetype, where you're smooth and you're cool and everybody likes you. And Get Smart, the main spy, he was goofy. He was a bumbling, stumbling idiot. And what I like about Archer is what it does is it's like, okay, what if you took 007 and Get Smart and you meshed them together? You have a main character that is, he's suave, he's a ladies' man, and when you watch it, even though he's like dumb and stupid as fuck, he's really good at his job. He's efficient at everything he does. But he takes the tropes of what, you know, James Bond is, and it brings it to its max. James Bond likes to enjoy a cocktail. Archer's an alcoholic. James Bond, he gets girls, and you know, he's always having sex. Archer has a sex addiction. He constantly has chlamydia. He constantly has all these VDs. James Bond is so well put together, and he was raised by like good parents and did shit. Archer has mommy issues. He has abandonment issues, and that shows in his relationships. And I think it's interesting when you have a show that can do 2 things really well: make a character really cool and make you feel sorry for him. And there's not a lot of pieces of media that can do that.
I feel like I'm watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force when I'm watching Archer.
Oh, it's not that bad.
I can't get past it.
Oh, it's not that bad.
I can't
Are we saying that Aqua Teen Hunger Force is bad?
I mean, I am personally.
I'm definitely saying it. Besides the theme song, once you get past the theme song, it's like, what is this?
Oh man,
it's a meatball, some fries, and a shake.
I mean, there's more to it than that, but I mean, I would say Archer's a little more intelligent than Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I'm gonna put that one out there. I mean,
and Aqua Teen Hunger Force doesn't have to be smart. What?
No, it doesn't.
Because what Adult Swim does really well.
This is where I am. I'm on top of the hill.
So what Adult Swim does really well is Adult Swim repopularized a form of comedy that was very niche and it's become more mainstream. And I call it stoner comedy. You watch Adult Swim when you're baked out of your mind, when you just walk back from the gas station across from campus with 5 pizzas and you just want to watch bullshit. That's why you have shows like 12-Ounce Mouse, which is crudely drawn, or Assy McGee, where there's a detective who's just a disembodied ass. It's not supposed to be highbrow. It's not supposed to be anything groundbreaking. It's supposed to be this goofy shit that you and your friends laugh at.
That's what I think of Archer. It's goofy shit.
I mean, I can't necessarily get mad at that.
I got an unpopular opinion
On music, on TV, on
Listen, the unpopular opinion on TV is going to take up a whole episode. Are we doing TV?
I mean, I wrote TV down on the paper for my own notes. So, I mean,
we're doing TV.
We're in a minor segment here. So I mean, go ahead and talk about
Okay, I'm gonna go music. We'll go TV.
What's the name of that show? Go ahead and talk about House. Yeah, go ahead and talk about House.
Bro, don't even.
You know that's where you were going.
I actually wasn't going there.
Yeah. Okay.
Unpopular music opinion. We needed Fetty Wap in 2015.
Oh, not this shit.
Okay, I'm already. You got me.
Okay, so in 2015, right? Let's say Fetty Wap came out February 2015. Yeah. Who did we have?
Boy, howdy. Who did we have in 2015? I guess
Young Thug.
nobody.
We had Young Thug. We had Rich Homie Quan. We had Yo Gotti was coming out. A Kendrick Lamar album that was 3 years old. We're going to get to Pepper Butterfly in a couple of months after that. Lil Uzi Vert was coming a little strong. Kodak Black came out with Skirt.
This is not you don't die on this hill. I'm telling you right now.
We're talking like 21 Savage asking, like I will keep saying it, like
don't die.
All of you people, to all the people who are asking 21 Savage why he has a 12-car garage, he only has 6 cars. Like, let the man have a 12-car garage. Like, maybe he wants to store stuff in his garage. That's why he needed the other 6 car spaces. But anyway, we needed that catchy song, those catchy songs. And Fetty Wap gave us those. And Sean, you're just a hater because you didn't want to believe until you had to.
No. So what you're saying, just for this hill that you're planning to die on, which I would suggest that you don't. I'm going to give you one opportunity. Please don't die on this hill. You're going to die on this hill?
2015 needed Fetty Wap.
Okay, so here we go. So your argument is that Fetty Wap brought the very popular, catchy songs that we needed, meaning that we didn't have them in 2015, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Fetty Wap brought us a sound and songs that we needed in 2015.
Cool. So I'm going to go through a few songs that you may have heard of that I remember being pretty damn popular in 2015. That I'm looking at it now and I'm like, yeah, no, this is no way.
Okay.
One of, like, now, mind you,
just name the damn song.
Top of this list is Trap Queen by Fetty Wap. I'll give you that. Slightly lower on this list, there's a song by this guy by the name of Post Malone. You might have heard of him. And he put out the song called White Iverson.
Didn't have the same effect on hip hop as Trap Queen.
That's not what you're saying. You're saying that
that
we needed the catchy songs.
We did.
And I'm saying Fetty Wap was
You're
not.
saying you're saying White Iverson was a catchier song than Trap Queen.
I'm saying that Fetty Wap was not the only. It's not like Fetty Wap was the only person around putting out popular music.
I didn't
But
say
fine.
that. That's not what I said.
But fine. Tell you what, we'll take out White Iverson. We'll move to a different one. And not only am I going to move to a different one, I'm going to move to an entire scenario that happened that you may have forgotten about. So there was a beef going on in 2015. Do you remember what it was?
Meek Mill and Drake.
Meek Mill and Drake. And it was a song that came out that Drake put out that was, dissing Meek Mill. Do you remember what it was called?
Back to Back.
It was called Back to Back. Do you know why it was called Back to Back? And do you know why you remember it? Because everybody remembers being somewhere and hearing back to back constantly. Super, super popular, super everywhere. Like I'll even go this one. And this one, not so much for me, but you had Classic Man by Jadena was everywhere. Everywhere I went, I heard that song. How about The Weeknd with Earned It? Legitimately, not only was a song that was his own song, but a song that made its way into a movie that was also super popular during that time. Again, 2015. Another absolutely big one by The Weeknd, Can't Feel My Face. Again, somebody putting out these very catchy mainstream songs that even falls into the same like genre as Fetty Wap. And I would say probably did it better. And if you're telling me that Trap Queen and 679 are better than Earned It and Can't Feel My Face, I'm gonna end this conversation right now.
So Sean,
So,
here's the response that I have to that.
Fantastic.
A Fetty Wap song got turned into a Kids Bop song. What does that say?
Point.
What?
We're
That's
talking
not
okay,
the argument.
But the argument
What is that?
Listen.
I feel like the argument that we're having is what is the cultural impact of Fetty Wap based on the different artists that came out around 2015. And for me, when your song becomes a Kids Bop song, that means everyone has heard your song. Don't get me wrong, yeah, everyone's heard I Can't Feel My Face, or I want to say around that time, Ray Shremmen came out with Black Beetle, and I remember
that came a little later.
Later.
No
Later?
Flex
No
Zone
Flex
was
Zone
out.
would be
No Flex
that
Zone.
one. Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, that
Or
one
No
was-
Type.
No Type, yeah.
No Type.
Which I think was also a Kids Bop song.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Okay, so put a pin in No Type. We need to do an episode where we just break down all of these popular songs and how they were really trash, but you couldn't really say anything about it back then because they were so catchy.
But I'm not,
No Type is at the top of that list. Okay, but put a pin in that.
I agree.
I got one more song I'm gonna hit you with that's gonna kill this whole Fetty Wap thing.
Okay, sure.
Because a song that I think that had more cultural impact than anything Fetty Wap did. And I hate that I'm even about to say this. I really do, because I don't want to say it. But I feel like I don't really have a choice. And that's Hotline Bling by Drake, which also came out in 2015.
It didn't.
Hotline Bling by Drake didn't come out in 2015.
Hotline
you're
Bling
saying it didn't
sounds
have that
like
cultural
every
impact.
other Drake song that came out in 2015.
Correct. And then what happened after 2015 after he put out Hotline Bling? Oh yeah, Drake became like the #1 fucking artist. So if you want to talk about the cultural impact,
Sean, here's where I am, and here's where you are. Here's where I am.
So what are you talking about? Are you talking about that the songs are catchy?
I don't know.
Because I got a whole list of songs that are catchy.
I
Oh, you
don't
wanna
know
talk
how
about
else to
cultural
explain
impact?
it to you.
Because I got cultural impact
said
songs over here.
We needed
Fetty Wap
Fetty
didn't
Wap.
do that much.
We needed Fetty Wap in 2015. When Fetty Wap
didn't.
came out, we didn't have anything catchy.
That's not
song-
true.
That is
There's
true.
a whole fucking list here of stuff that would have came out with or without Fetty Wap. Like honestly, you're gonna sit here and tell me that if if Fetty Wap doesn't come out with Trap Queen, that Future doesn't come out with March Madness?
That's not how things work.
Correct. But guess what
we
happened
don't
in
know that.
2015? He came out with March Madness.
But yeah, also Thomas has a point. You don't know that.
You don't know what he listened to. He's like, hey man,
Thomas,
I gotta get on that Fetty Wap.
Thomas, just as easily as you could say I don't know that, I can also say you don't know that either.
You're right. No one knows. We're speculating.
Right. So it doesn't mean we can just assume and that be the case. So then if you want to say none of it, then we have to treat each one as an isolated incident. And how many people are still sounding like Fetty Wap to this day?
We needed.
How many people try to sound like
Fetty
Drake
Wap
to this day? How many people try to sound like Future to this day?
15.
No,
We needed Fetty Wap.
This is crazy.
Because when Fetty Wap came out
This is crazy.
in February of 2015, everything was sounding the same.
Everything sounded the same prior. What
Prior
are
to
you
Fetty
talking
Wap,
about?
prior to Fetty Wap coming out in
You're
February 2015.
You're acting like people being. So you mean to tell me you could differentiate every single song in the Bling era? That they all don't sound the fucking same?
In what era?
The Bling era?
Yeah, they all kind of sound the same.
Okay, so point made. Simple as that.
No,
You're saying that before Fetty Wap, nothing sounded the same, and now all of a sudden everything sounds the same after Fetty Wap. But yet I just said
I
the
did
Bling
not
era-
say that. I did not say that.
So then what are you saying when you're saying that
Fetty Wap
Before Fetty-
was a different sound when he came out from everybody else.
so was Future?
Future didn't
what
come
point are
out
you
in
trying to make?
2015.
Right, but he got
And when Future
more
came
popular
out,
in
when
2015.
Future came out, if you heard Astronaut Status, he sounded like every other Atlanta rapper that was out there.
and then when he put out March Madness, he wasn't doing that anymore.
He put out 3 albums before he put out March Madness.
I'm aware.
That all sounded the goddamn same.
It doesn't matter. But I don't understand the point you're trying to
I
make.
don't understand. I literally said
What are
it
you
like
trying
8
to say? Are
times.
we trying to say that
Listen,
things
I'm-
did not sound the same?
I'm
before
gonna
Fetty Wap,
I'm
and
gonna
it
slow
sounded
it.
the
I'm gonna
same?
slow it down for you.
Or that they did sound the
I'm
same.
gonna-
Fetty Wap came around
I'm
and
gonna
changed
slow
the
it
game.
down.
I'm confused.
I'm gonna slow it down.
Yeah,
I never
go ahead.
said any of that.
Okay, so tell me what you said. then.
This is what I'm saying. Listen, before Fetty Wap came out in 2015, you got
So that
that
means
part.
2014 prior.
January 1, 2015.
January 1,
It doesn't
2015 to the beginning of fucking time.
Before, I didn't say that.
So where are you saying this
I'm
from?
talking about 2015, Sean.
So for the 1
And
month,
Only 2015.
okay, for the 1 month, fantastic.
When Fetty Wap came out, all of the stuff that had come out before Fetty Wap that year sounded the
For
same.
1 month, 1 month,
Sounded the same.
1 month. That's what you're dying on. 1 month that everything sounded the same, and then Fetty Wap came in fucking February, and now all of a
Fetty
sudden it's
Wap
different.
came out in February. That doesn't mean he was popular in February.
What,
Okay?
Lionel?
Because listen
Right
to what
now,
I'm-
you're saying from January 1, 2015 to whenever Fetty Wap came out in February, that everything sounded the same. That's like 30 days at the most, dude. That's not a lot of time.
How many songs came out in January 2015?
I don't know.
You don't know. I stand by what I said. When Fetty Wap came out, he gave us a new sound that we didn't hear because everything sounded the same in that
Yes.
new wave of music.
Yes, for 1 month.
Therefore, okay, whether it's a month or
For
not,
1
Sean,
month.
whether it's a month or not,
For 1 month.
whether it's a month or not, we needed that new sound in 2015. And that's my unpopular music opinion. And see how we came right back to it and how you agreed with me? Yeah, thank
Don't
you.
agree with you.
You literally just did.
How did I just agree
For
with you?
1 month. For 1 month. Yeah, for 1 month.
So you're really going to sit here and go, for 1 month, everything sounded the same, and then afterwards... it
I didn't say 1 month. You said 1 month. And I didn't say everything sounded different after Fetty Wap came out. I said Fetty Wap gave us a new sound that we hadn't heard of and that we needed that in 2015.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me make sure I'm looking at this properly because this is quite interesting, actually. So, what you mean to tell me is that if Fetty Wap, right, was changing the game the way he was, that in 2015, we would have seen some level of popularity from him to where he would have some kind of #1 song, correct?
I didn't say that.
So he's changing the game.
I didn't say he changed.
Super popular.
I didn't say he was super popular.
So for 30 days in 2015, Fetty Wap, like there was no Fetty Wap, and then all of a sudden after 30 days, now everything now Fetty Wap comes up with a new sound in a month.
That's what you said.
That's your unpopular opinion?
That's what you said.
Your unpopular opinion is that prior to Fetty Wap coming out in 2015, meaning from January 2015 to whenever the first song Fetty Wap put out, everything sounded the same.
You said.
And then
that's not what I
said.
said.
The same?
That's what you said.
That's one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard in my life.
I don't understand how you get that from what I said.
Because you literally just said I agreed.
You sound like a Trumper right now.
No, if anybody sounds like a
oh
Trumper,
my God,
you, sir, because you're literally saying.
I think that people should be able to make decent pays. You hate America. That's what you sound like right now.
So Lionel,
listen.
Tell me what you're trying to say.
Sean,
because obviously I don't understand.
Open your ears.
They're open.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Are you listening?
I'm listening.
All I said
was
Fetty Wap
is
what we needed.
In
2015.
And I disagree with that strongly.
Okay, that's all you had to say because everything else you said
from the beginning.
You sounded like you were overdosing on jibber jabber.
You're not making sense. All you did was say, "This is my opinion,"
How did that
and
not
that's
make sense?
And then I sat there and I said, "There's other popular stuff." Because you're saying that Fetty Wap.
I never argued that there was other popular stuff.
So what are you saying?
I said Fetty Wap was the sound that we needed.
Needed in what way?
And it was different.
That's such an arbitrary statement. That makes no sense.
It makes plenty of sense. You just don't want it to make sense because then you'd have to admit that you like Fetty Wap.
This has nothing to do with that. I'm literally trying to sit here and figure out how this makes sense.
Thomas, do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
So
Thomas, can you explain it? Because I'm fucking confused.
Okay.
You want to be confused.
All he's saying is that in 2015, before the period when Fetty Wap came out, everything was relatively the same, very similar, and that the variety that Fetty Wap brought at that time was a breath of fresh air.
That's just what we're saying. That Fetty Wap just brought a new sound to 2015.
I said it like 100 times, Sean.
Okay, sure. Fetty Wap brought a new sound to 2015. Fantastic. If that's an unpopular opinion, that's one of the weakest ones.
No. Once again,
that's one of the weakest ones.
Once again,
that's
what you said. That's not what I said. That's what you said. I said we needed Fetty Wap in 2015.
So I just got Thomas to explain to me the statement that you agree with.
He wanted it down so you can understand. But those words that you said were not my words. My unpopular opinion was we needed Fetty Wap in 2015 because he brought a sound that we needed.
And I'm asking you to defend this, and you've given me.
What have we been doing for the past 20 minutes?
I don't know.
What have you been doing?
Because everything I thought I understood about this conversation.
Listen, I told you my unpopular opinion, and you went and named like hit songs. Oh, The Weeknd and Fetty Wap weren't even in the same like genre.
So
they weren't.
What are you saying? If I
have to say it again,
you're making no sense,
Sean.
That's the problem here.
Is
that because for what you're saying. Right. And then I acknowledge what Thomas said by saying, if all you're saying
it's not philosophical, it's simple.
If all you're saying is that Fetty Wap brought a new sound to 2015, fine, you can have it. I really don't care.
Not what the fuck I said. Fetty Wap, we all know Fetty Wap brought a new sound in 2015.
That's why I'm trying to
saying
figure out what the
that's-
unpopular opinion
We
is.
needed that in 2015.
So again, okay, Lionel, the whole purpose of the segment is to bring up something that is unpopular, meaning that it is not commonly accepted, right? So when you bring up and say that Fetty Wap is what we needed in 2015, I'm going to sit there and say, I disagree with you. And if the only thing that you have to lean on here is that for 30 days things sounded the same, and then after that it didn't, then you're not saying anything. There's 0 point to this. You just said Fetty Wap brought a new sound in 2015.
You literally.
I ate a
just made
cheeseburger today.
You made a mountain out of a molehill just then. Like you literally walked yourself in a circle that you didn't need to walk yourself into.
Because you're not saying anything.
No, I said plenty. You just don't want to hear it.
I'm hearing exactly what you're saying. I've heard it 1,000 times. I'm asking you to give me some kind of evidence as to why you feel that way. And the only thing that you've been saying is that he put out popular songs. I don't know what else. I don't know what you're trying to do here. This makes 0 sense.
If I have to explain this to you again.
You haven't explained it once. Like, I don't know what you haven't explained it
I
once.
literally spent the first 10 minutes of talking about this, telling you the songs and people who were out at the time that Fetty Wap came out and how all of this stuff sounded the same, and you didn't hear any of that shit.
And I went through and found other people that were out at the same time and said none of this sounds like Fetty Wap and it was all popular. So what you're saying does not make sense.
It makes plenty of sense. I didn't say Fetty Wap was the only new thing that we got in 2015. I said Fetty Wap was what we needed in 2015. Weekend was already established.
Needed in what way? I don't understand. Need what? What was the need? Because if you're saying the need was variety, there was already variety. If you're saying the need was popular music, there was already popular music. If you're saying the need was catchy music, the need was catchy music. Or it was already there. So what? You got to give me something.
In your opinion.
So that's what this is leaning on.
It's
the fact that it's your opinion versus mine.
It was my unpopular opinion.
So that's it. We're just leaning on that. Fantastic.
Sean,
we'll end it right then and there. Thomas. Because some unpopular food opinion. Because this is crazy.
I literally told you my unpopular opinion, explained to you why I thought it was, gave you details on why I thought it was unpopular.
And I refuted those details, and you gave me nothing except the same
thing. Which is what makes it unpopular. If everybody else doesn't think the same thing that I think, and I'm the only one thinking it, that's unpopular.
But you're not the only one thinking it, because the only thing that you said was Fetty Wap put out a new song in 2015. But it's okay. And
I literally said a whole goddamn paragraph.
Of nothing. Of nothing. You said nothing. Nothing you said. All you said was Fetty Wap this is everything that y'all said in that moment. Fetty Wap put out a new sound. Fetty Wap came out in February 2015. You said everything before Fetty Wap. I said from the beginning of time, you said no, 2015. So I said for 30 days, you said, yeah, 30 days.
Sean, if we're talking about beginning of time, you got to throw Kendrick, Cole, Kanye,
I'm
Drake,
trying to figure out.
Rick Ross. I'm talking about a specific year.
And you're talking about a month. A fucking month.
I never said a month.
You didn't have to. You said February. Everything prior to February. You even went on record saying January.
Sean.
You even
Fetty
said
Wap,
January.
Listen to me. Fetty Wap came out in 2015. He brought a sound that we needed to hear. Because who do we have out at the time? Who do we have out at the time?
Drake.
March Madness didn't come out in February. Drake's album came out later in the year.
So then
because there was summer. Like I said, there were a bunch of artists out
So
and a
then
bunch of
I
popular
go
songs out,
back.
and all of them sounded the same. They were the same songs we've been hearing for the past year or whatever.
So let me explain what all that was about. We just had a whole conversation about it. Let me explain what that was about.
He's just hot for no reason.
Okay. 2015, right? Let's go back to 2015. Lionel and I knew each other in college. We talked about this before. Lionel's brought me music suggestions. I've sat there and been like, oh, it's trash. And then I'll go back and listen to it. I have shit memory. So I'll be like, yo, Lionel, listen to the song and forget that he exposed me to it. If Fetty Wap came out in 2015, in February 2015, Lionel probably was like the first like 50 people to listen to Fetty Wap, to be totally honest with you. Because Lionel was very early on the train of Fetty Wap. He was also very early on the train of OT Genesis. He was also very early on the train of Migos. He was also very early on the train of throw another person there, Lionel. He don't want to do it because he knows I'm about to expose his ass. So
No, you're not exposing shit.
So back in the day, he showed me was it My Way?
No, it wasn't.
It was which one was it then?
It was
It was Trap Queen. It was Trap Queen. Lionel showed me Trap Queen back in February of 2015 or whatever the song came out. Like literally the month came out. And he showed it to me. And I looked at Lionel dead in his face in 2015 and said, that song was trash. By the summer, I was listening to it. Okay. That's what this whole thing was about. This whole thing was about the fact that and he admitted it off camera.
I did not admit it.
Now.
I did not admit it.
Not gonna do it now.
No.
But he admitted it off camera that this whole thing is about the fact that, in his words, I don't have to prove anything because I already proved it years ago.
Exactly.
End of story.
Like, Sean, what kind of
recorded on the podcast?
What kind of feed is that? What kind of feed is it?
Thank you.
Going, oh, Sean, 7 years ago, I introduced you to Fetty Wap. Like, what? Nobody cares.
You
do it every chance you get. What are you talking about?
I literally
we'll be talking about Kanye, and you'll go, "Hey, Sean, remember the time that I introduced you to Fetty Wap and you didn't like it? Hey, Sean, remember the time that I said Migos was the new Bone Thugs and Harmony and you disagreed with me?
Like you this is constant.
Sean, okay, so first of all,
new thing.
You admitted that you didn't even listen to Bone Thugs and Harmony, so you were dead in the water before you even responded to that comment.
I was, but the argument went on for 8 years, did it not?
Anyway, like I said, we needed Fetty Wap in 2015 because he gave us a sound that we needed, that we all needed here. It was a breath of fresh air, like Tommy said. Sean, you can go on whatever rant you wanted to go on.
I mean, I'm going to end it because there's nothing else to say. But again, I asked the question of, I don't understand what we needed to hear because it didn't carry throughout. But whatever, that's fine.
Throughout 2015,
the songs did, but his sound didn't. So what cultural impact did it bring? Besides for a year or two?
Say it with me, Sean. We needed Fetty Wap in 2015.
And again, I don't.
That's
can
all.
Say it over and over.
That's all.
Sure. For a month in 2015, everything sounded the same.
Say it
and
with
then
me
the Big
again,
Bang
and
happened.
we can move on.
And Fetty Wap with his one eye came out and said, "She's my trap queen," and then that was the end of it. And then life was forever different.
Say it with me, Sean, and we can move on.
Life was forever different.
Say it with me, Sean, and we can move on.
We needed Fetty Wap in 2015. Damn Fetty Wap. Now I got to add it to the damn list. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
And I did introduce Sean to Fetty Wap, and he thought it was trash, along with a lot of other stuff. But like I said,
and I just acknowledged all of that. But that's what this whole conversation was about.
It wasn't. It was honestly, Sean. That was a true unpopular opinion of mine.
Is it new?
What are you talking about?
Is it something we haven't talked about before? Because you said the same thing in 2018.
No, I didn't. I don't think I ever said that in 2018. Because in 2018, we were listening to Damn. Am I right?
We were, but it was time enough to where Fetty Wap had passed, and then you had your moments. So anyway, Thomas, unpopular food opinions. Let's move on this.
You hot for no reason, but I'm gonna let it go.
I mean, I'm not hot. I mean, I proved my point. I'm good.
You didn't prove shit, but we just gonna let it slide.
I proved my point. It's fine.
No, you didn't.
All right, Thomas, on popular food opinions.
All right. You ready? Here we
This
go.
was food.
A hot dog is a sandwich.
God damn it. Here we go.
A hot dog is a sandwich.
Here we go.
Because here's the problem. you guys are looking at orientation. You hold it like this, so now it's not a sandwich. Well, and then you're like, oh, well, you got to think about the function. What is the function of a hot dog? Well, it sits in a piece of bread, and you're like, well, it's got the little flap on it. It's not a sandwich. Well, then what's a po' boy? What's a Philly cheesesteak? What's a lobster roll? Then you're like, well, you stack the stuff on top of it. Well, fucking, if you get a big enough fucking cheesesteak or a big enough fucking whatever, dude, you gotta twist that shit sometimes. The thing is, you look at the hot dog and you're like, no, that can't be a sandwich because it doesn't fit the small criteria for what I think a sandwich is, except when it doesn't, and then all of a sudden it's a big deal. We just need to accept that the hot dog is a sandwich, so that way we can work towards the 30-day work week, paid time off, and mandatory minimums. No mandatory minimums.
I about to say, please not on. We're
yeah,
not
no mandatory minimums.
We need to get away from mandatory minimums.
Is a taco a sandwich?
No, that's a whole nother breed.
How?
The shell. Shell's not bread.
Shell's not bread.
Shell is not bread.
So
it's a starch, ain't bread.
So wheat tacos don't exist.
Wheat tacos do
Like
exist.
flour,
But that's
flour tacos don't exist.
yeah, but a tortilla is not bread.
Tortilla is not bread.
Tortilla is not bread.
So
tortilla is a tortilla.
Here we go with this shit again.
Let's go. I'm ready for this one.
What makes something bread?
It's got to rise.
That's what makes it bread.
Yes.
So a tortilla can't rise.
Not to the extent that bread rises.
That we didn't say to the extent. You said it has to rise. Can a tortilla rise?
If you want to get technical, Sean, no. There are air pockets that form when you cook a tortilla, but it doesn't rise. The tortilla itself doesn't get thicker.
Does it go from here to here?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't. No part of it.
Have you ever cooked a tortilla?
I have.
You have?
I have.
Has the tortilla risen when you cooked it?
It's gotten a little bit bigger.
I mean, it probably curled. I don't think it got bigger.
Yeah, that's not right.
I don't think it plumps.
Does it go from a lower place to a higher place? Sounds like rising to me.
See, Sean, you're fishing.
Sounds like rising to me.
You're fishing. You see,
if we're calling a hot dog a sandwich,
you're fishing.
There's a lot of other questions we need to be asked. And then for me, the next one is a taco. How's a taco not a sandwich?
Because a taco is a whole thing of itself.
Because everything that you described, if you didn't tell me it was a hot dog, I would have thought it was a taco.
See, that's the thing though. Like tacos are, because they're close to wraps. They're very similar to wraps.
Sean,
but it's just about
is a wrap not a sandwich?
Sean.
Hold on, time out. Hold on, no, wait. Is a wrap not a sandwich?
No, a wrap is a wrap.
Sean, I'm gonna ask you one question.
We are differentiating now.
Listen,
wraps
hold on, time out. I'm about to end your whole.
Bro, you won't see somebody eating a wrap and say, "Hey, that's a really good sandwich you got there."
Hey, Thomas, just bear with me for a second.
Can you
bear with me for a second? Hold on, Sean. Let me ask you.
Can you get a wrap from a sandwich store?
You can get a hot dog from a hamburger place.
You can get chicken wings from a Chinese place, fried chicken from a Chinese restaurant.
That doesn't make.
You can get chicken wings from Papa John's.
If you're saying that a sandwich is taking some kind of bread and putting stuff in between it, a wrap is a sandwich.
Listen, let's run it back for a second, Sean. So you've made tortillas, right?
Correct.
Homemade.
More or less.
What's more or less?
I personally haven't done it. I've watched somebody do it.
You've watched somebody do it.
I've watched somebody.
Okay. So real quick, what kind of flour did they use?
Oh, I don't remember.
You don't?
A while back.
Okay. No. So I'm gonna tell you like this. You don't use self-rising flour in tortillas.
Okay.
Okay. Any other flour you use, the bread would not rise.
Okay.
Also, if you do a quick Google, hold up, shut up. If you do a quick Google, just a quick one.
See, I can't say anything about the shut up because I tell my students to shut up all the time. So
Because
I can't even say anything in this scenario.
a quick Google, and I just remembered it too. Tortillas are considered unleavened.
Yeah, bam. I was just reading that. Tortillas versus bread. When you're learning how to press tortillas,
Tortillas versus
asking
bread.
the same question.
So
Tortillas are sort of
Let's hear it, Sean.
So I can't take a Google search and search up unleavened bread and something will come up.
What?
Are we talking about matzah now?
Matzah.
Ask that question again, Sean. What'd you say?
Unleavened. Oh, look at that. Unleavened bread. Crazy. What breads are considered unleavened? Unleavened is a bread. Unleavened bread is bread that is made with nothing to make it rise. That is no leavening, be it a chemical leavener, a yeast, or a starter dough. Well-known examples are chapati, matzo, and Mexican tortillas.
Huh?
Not all flatbreads, however, are necessarily unleavened. However, I feel like you're missing a large portion of this entire thing. When I looked this up, I didn't look up unleavened. I looked up unleavened bread. Unleavened bread. Meaning, right, that it's what? Say it with me now. What is it?
No, Sean. Hold on.
Say it with me now.
Because
Say it with me now. What is it?
Because
It's bread. Is
No.
it not?
because your
Is it
original
not?
definition of bread was, does it rise?
Let's look up the definition of bread so we can make sure that we're doing this. Can't believe
Okay.
I'm doing this. Bread.
I will okay, Sean. I'll just knock it out right now, and I will concede to this point that tortillas are a type of flatbread.
Thank you.
I'll concede that point.
Because you didn't want it. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the definition of bread had nothing about rising.
But that's what you
So-
said, and I'm not gonna give you tortillas rising.
Okay,
just like
fine,
You were
fine.
stupid for. Listen,
I'm wrong
listen.
for thinking that bread
Okay.
has to rise.
If you're
But
gonna get-
now I'm right saying that a taco is a sandwich. Thank you.
No,
I'm
the
done.
only thing you proved is tortillas bread.
I'm done.
No, because now we're thinking about
But
That's all you proved, that tortillas were bread.
carry on. I'm good. The viewers will see it. We're all good.
this is like
I see,
the
Thomas,
people
this
will
way-
see me.
I have
this is
nothing
what
to
it
prove
does.
to either
Okay.
one of you. My
This
points
is-
are there.
But here's the thing. I think tacos are a wrap. It's all about the orientation.
Wait, no. When you started this, you said the orientation isn't a factor.
No, it is
Wait, you said
not
said,
orientation. Form, I guess I want to say.
like the
So like wraps. They come. You roll them like joints. You know, you when you get like a taco, yeah, it's like a very loose joint that you have.
It's a joint, not a sandwich.
Joint. Ooh. Mm. I'm gonna have to go on a lab on this one.
I agree with Thomas. I think a taco is a wrap.
it could be a wrap, but it's still bread. And if we're
Okay.
categorizing a
Okay,
sandwich as
we-
something
we-
inside of bread, then fantastic, it's a sandwich.
Well,
And that's fine. I have
wait
no
a
problem with
minute.
that.
The definition of a
I have no problem with
sandwich
that.
is 2 pieces of bread.
So then a hot dog can't be a sandwich.
Now I'm gonna
A
have to
hot
push back
dog-
on that.
It can't be a
Could
sandwich.
burger. I would classify a hot dog as a burger because I think
No,
the
because the
difference
burger
between
has two not connected buns. If you take a hot dog bun, you
No.
can disconnect them, and then maybe then you could have a sandwich where you really just have a broken
I
bun.
think
But buns are
buns-
connected,
I think buns are classified as a piece of bread that has been sliced down the middle.
right? But it's still one piece of bread. So
Uh-huh.
so then a hot dog isn't a sandwich by your definition.
I never agreed that hot dogs were sandwiches.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if you want to have that, I don't really care.
I never agreed.
Okay.
I feel like we just did like a bank heist, and now Lionel just pulled the gun on me, and I'm
But
like, I thought we were on the same team.
Like-
He's like, I got it out for myself.
Like
I don't know what just happened.
I think that tacos are wraps, and I think wraps are closer to burgers than they are sandwiches. That's just me.
How? In what way?
One piece. Bun. Burger bun. Technically, it's a burger. It's a piece of bread split in half. Tortilla is one If tortillas are bread and wraps are bread, right? It's one piece.
Most buns now aren't cut in half. They come separated.
Sean,
I mean, by that logic, all bread is
you got a
fucking one
top,
piece.
you got a top piece, and you got a
Uh-huh.
bottom piece.
They don't cut it in half.
The bread you buy in the store don't cut in half, but I've seen buns in the store that aren't cut in half. Already.
Okay, well then if you use that, then yeah, maybe there. But like you're talking
Sean,
like a hamburger you go out and fucking buy.
We're literally
I mean,
talking definitions here.
what?
It's definitions here, Sean. Like I know you want to be Mr. Argumentative, Mr. Brightside today, but whatever.
I know you guys were like talking for 2 minutes, but I had a moment when Lionel's like, yeah, it's one piece. And I was like, wait, one piece. So like one bun. Does that make a wrap a hot dog?
That's like I said. I think that wraps are closer to burgers than sandwiches. So if a hot dog is a wrap, then that hot dog will be closer to a burger than.
But we still haven't determined if a hot dog is a sandwich. We just are now trying to assign other things to other locations.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I've learned a lot of stuff today that makes my first opinion very shaky. And I don't think I can any longer try and defend it.
And see, Thomas, we've had this conversation in many a Discord before. And where have
yeah.
I always been?
Oh yeah, that hot dog is definitely not a sandwich.
Correct. And now here we are. So now I won't be there on Wednesday. But when you go back and you're playing on Wednesday, you better tell them.
I'll tell them, hey guys,
You better
look,
tell them.
I can neither confirm nor deny that a hot dog is or is not a sandwich.
Okay, so here we go. On But Peep This the podcast. Like I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm endorsing hot dogs as wraps.
I have been on the hot dog is not a sandwich train since the conversation started. So I'm gonna stay there.
I'm gonna say hot dogs are wraps.
That doesn't answer the question. You're just moving. You're just moving it. So whatever.
I know.
I mean, that's fine.
We've established that sandwiches aren't wraps, though, didn't we?
I mean, it depends on whether a hot dog's a sandwich is going to depend on it. I mean, that's
Okay,
the philosophical conversations here.
I feel like this is going to be an episode by itself. Like,
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog
I'm
a
not
sandwich?
spending. I'm not
yes.
spending.
It's gonna be the great
entire episode
debate.
on whether a hot dog is a sandwich.
I will get culinary experts in here
I'm
to
not
help us.
spending an entire episode. I'm letting you know that now. It's not happening.
I'm
That's
calling
okay.
the inventor of the hot dog right now.
I think me and Thomas gonna be on this one. You can like go play like World of Warcraft or whatever you do.
I'll just Lord of mercy. I'll pop in for like 20 minutes and be like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
and that's it. Yeah. All right.
You got a popular food opinion, Sean? Since we on it,
No, off the top of my head. I feel like all my unpopular food opinions are like for example, I had like Zaxby's for dinner. Zaxby's is the best chicken place. Like I'm just gonna throw that one out there. Like best fast food chicken is Zaxby's.
Like
Just throwing it out there.
fast food chicken tenders or fast food chicken
So-
overall.
So here's the thing. I have not had like the staples of like Harold's Chicken in Chicago or like any of like those types of places. So I don't know if you consider those fast food. If you consider those fast food, then I don't have a ton, but
Harold's is definitely not fast food because it's
Fantastic.
made to order.
fantastic. So when it comes to fast food chicken, yeah, I'm putting Zaxby's at the top. Put Zaxby's at the top.
So are KFC and Popeyes in that same category?
Yes. Because I mean, if you want to go by tenders, they both have tenders.
That's what I asked you. Like, are we talking about fast food tenders or fast food chicken overall? Because if we're talking about fast food chicken overall, a well-ran KFC will wax any chicken restaurant.
Oh my God. What? Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh God.
A well-run,
I don't care how well run it is.
well-managed
The
KFC
Colonel could be there himself.
Dude, if I throw some
I-
dirt in chicken batter, it's not gonna make it good. Dude, I put churches over KFC. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I agree.
See, all right.
I do that.
See,
I
feel that.
I put churches over KFC.
okay.
I big agree.
Listen,
Convi-
I
convince
understand
me.
nobody wants to go into a churches, and
Hold
I
up,
get that.
Hold up,
But if
Sean.
you go in there,
Convince me. Convince me.
convince you,
Convince me.
KFC tastes like dirt. That's all I got. I
No,
really don't have
convince
much
me that churches is better.
most people. So
I'll say it. The
compare
biscuit.
taste here. Like I mean, the biscuit.
First off,
number one.
biscuit.
I
Give me that
mean,
biscuit.
I would also say that churches puts more like flavoring in their chicken. This 11 herbs and spices myth that's going on with KFC. I'm just kind of over it. I mean, I could put some oregano in some chicken and call it some damn shit too. But I mean, whatever. Like, I don't really give a shit. But what I am going to say is that most people, the reason why they say they don't want to eat churches is because they don't want to go in the churches, because a lot of people consider churches as being ghetto. And most people stay away from them because of that reason. They don't eat church. They don't stop eating churches because the food is bad. I've actually never talked to a person who has said a churches has bad food. The only time I've ever talked to somebody about churches, the only thing that they ever say is, I'm not going in there. I'll go anywhere else besides going to churches. I'll walk into a churches. Order me some chicken and waffles would be totally fine. And that's just fantastic. And it's better than KFC. I mean, am I going to put churches in like the top, like in the top 5? Maybe, top 3, probably not. My top 3 is going to be like Zaxby's, Popeyes, I'll put Fusakli's in there. But I don't know about churches. I'll put churches at 5. But I'm not putting... I'll put churches at 4 because I don't really know. We'll go at 5. But yeah, no, I'm not. No, KFC, nah. KFC's dirty. The chicken is wet, which I think is weird. I really don't understand that. It's like not greasy, it's wet. I don't get a lot of grease from KFC. I get wet. So, whereas with like churches, I get like flavor. Like I get, some level of like, I don't have to put a lot of sauces on church's chicken.
We've established that you put hot sauce on everything, so that's kind of.
I don't put hot sauce on everything. I just actually use hot sauce, but I typically don't put hot sauce on chicken. Now, yesterday I went to a brunch where they asked me if I wanted hot sauce on my chicken and waffles, and I said yes. I had been drinking, and then I spilt the hot sauce on the plate, and so my entire plate was covered in hot sauce, and I ate chicken and waffles and maple syrup and maple gravy with hot sauce, and it wasn't too bad, but I wouldn't do it again.
That's fucking disgusting.
It wasn't too bad, but
that actually sounds pretty nice.
It wasn't that bad, but
shit fucking disgusting too.
I wouldn't do it again.
So no, let me get at you, because you said that like spice is spice, and that blows my mind. No, spice is not. There's more. Like a Tabasco sauce is not the same as a crystal sauce. That is not the same as red pepper. That is not the same as cayenne pepper. This spice is not just spice.
You can't tell people from Louisiana that spice is spice. Like you can't do that.
Tell you,
it don't make no damn sense.
This is the hill.
Ooh.
This is me.
Let me tell you
I
something.
mean, dude, we'll get Gordon Ramsay will tell you that you're wrong. I mean, I don't know what you want here. Like what?
Sue me. Hot sauce is trash.
Like this culinary opinion is it's accepted as wrong. Like I don't know what you want.
It's the worst.
It's unpopular. It's unpopular.
Like you called your entire cooking career into question with this.
It's
I'm
unpopular.
just throwing it out
Listen,
there.
okay. So for the record, I don't think anybody. Hillary's just mad because I cook better than her.
That ain't got nothing to do with this.
I don't think anybody who has tasted my food would argue that I can't cook.
I put hot sauce in your chili.
That's a lie, nigga, because I didn't even have hot sauce in my house.
I think I did it when we were at when we were at Spring Hill the first time. Because I had it in there.
You might have had it and
I had it in there.
what's his face's apartment, but I know I had in my house.
No,
there
your
is no
house
hot
wasn't
sauce.
hot sauce. No,
There is no
hot
hot sauce.
There wasn't
It's
no hot
not.
sauce.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed. And so, have you fried chicken before?
No, actually.
Because I just
I
wrote
want
down-
to though, but
I just wrote down everything that I season my chicken and flour with, and I'm at 8 herbs and spices. So getting to 11 is, in my opinion, is kind of easy. But I give you the whole 11 herbs and spices thing is kind of a myth.
oh, I was about to say, like, I mean, if they actually put 11 herbs and spices in the chicken, that's fine. But the thing is, if I put a grain of each in the chicken batter, well, that ain't 11 herbs and spices.
I'm actually at 9.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I would hope your chicken is better than KFC's.
So
I don't
like
know.
once you find like the last two, is it like getting the Dragon Balls together? Will the Colonel come? and
Yeah,
help you
like
with your
is
chicken?
Colonel going to show up? Because more than likely, you're probably putting the same
Summoned
11
me.
herbs and spices as the Colonel did back in the day. Whenever back in the day was, I'm a little concerned about that one. But you know,
But yeah, hot sauce is trash. Here's an unpopular food opinion. I don't know if y'all going to agree with me or not. But
probably not at this point.
I don't know where this whole like avocado phase or like craze, I'm sorry, came from. But if it's not like guacamole, avocado is trash. It literally tastes like wax, like nothing.
So I'm not going to say avocado's trash,
I'm saying it.
but I will say that there is an overuse
Right.
of avocado. I think there are scenarios in which avocado can be good, but if you do put too much, it does ruin a meal. Like it does
I can
absolutely.
agree with that. Like avocado and like sushi and your tacos.
Fantastic.
Yeah, very good.
I wouldn't go as far as
So,
in the taco, but on the side.
oh, yeah,
I mean,
like,
you know,
and I will say,
either way, you know,
avocado toast, not that bad.
I was gonna say, you know, if you do it right, if you don't, what I hate is when people cut up avocado and they just put the slices on there instead of like
no,
actually
Yeah, you gotta
spreading
mush those things.
it out.
Gotta
I
mush
hate that because then I go to smush it, and avocado is just hard enough to where you're gonna smush whatever's underneath it,
Yeah.
but soft enough to where you're still gonna smush it, even if you do. It's a weird thing. I don't understand that, but
You got to leave it out for 30 minutes.
it goes bad so quick, so it's
So quick.
not like viable. So I'm not totally mad at it, but I wouldn't say trash per se, because there are scenarios in which avocado can be good.
I only know one
What's that?
situation. Guac.
Talking about guac. I mean,
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, he's a leading player, you know?
That's it.
That's like saying, like, you know what makes-
avocado omelet, avocado on this. That's like, stop. I have a huge problem with people who put like avocado on everything. Like, I can deal with the hot sauce people putting hot sauce on everything, but like watching people put ketchup on everything like genuinely gets under my skin.
I can
Fair.
Like genuinely, like, because like honestly, like seriously, if like you know me, Sean, you know that you come to my house, you're not gonna find ketchup,
Mm.
you're not gonna find mayonnaise in a jar. Okay, you'll find mustard, ranch, honey mustard, barbecue sauce, like soy sauce, you know, orange sauce, like all other
Pretty
sauce.
much anything you can think of.
Right. Because I cook with everything. When I make a dish, I make it like you're gonna know what condiments I have before I start cooking. So if I'm making like last night, I grilled some chicken and I made like my own barbecue sauce. I made it with peaches. So I made a spicy peach barbecue sauce.
Can you bottle that up and send me some?
I'll give you the recipe and you can make it on your own.
All right. So
we're all pretty big wrestling fans here. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've talked a few times about the wrestling game that I play. Thomas is one of the people that I play with. For sure, one of the more eccentric people. That definitely has a great role there. But you only get to that point when you're a huge wrestling fan. So right. I've gone into my wrestling fandom. Lionel's gone into his. Thomas, you're the only one that has explained to the people where you are in wrestling. So take it away, sir.
All right. So when it comes to wrestling, I am an all-around guy. I like all promotions except WWE for certain reasons, and I'll explain that in a minute. But my main one that I watch right now is AEW. And I'm so into AEW because I feel like when it comes to the wrestling I like, I'm a spots kind of guy. And when we talk about spots, we mean big moves. And WWE, they like to play it very close to the vest. So you'll have matches where nothing happens. But in AEW, because the wrestlers are the ones that write their stories and decide their matches, they can have as spectacular of a match as they want, or as subtle of a match as they want. And because they have, I would say undoubtedly, some of the best wrestlers in the world right now working for them, they have excellent matches. They have amazing matches. And that's because they allow themselves to open up to, so Lionel, let me ask you something. How much about wrestling do you know before the WWE?
Not much.
Okay. So back in the day, there were territories. There were different areas where people wrestled. And a lot of times what happened was you might be in Smoky Mountain Wrestling and you might win the title. And then once that storyline is up after 2 months, you have a loser leaves town match. And then you lose the match and you would leave. You would go to Big Texas Wrestling, where you would come and they'd be like, oh yeah, he was kicked out of his old promotion and now he's here to wreak havoc. And then that's how wrestlers made the most money, because after you got old in the area that you were, you left and went somewhere else. And then you had dream matches. You had a guy that was in Deep South Wrestling and a guy that was in Oklahoma Wrestling. And you're like, oh man, it would be really cool if they ever got together and wrestled a match. And now, oh, they're meeting up in Texas? That's crazy. This is a dream match. But what happened was once Vince McMahon's father died and he took over his promotion, he started buying up all the territories.
Black Saturday.
He became the only place you can watch professional wrestling. So what happens with that is, because you're kind of getting all the talent and you're the only one that has that talent, stuff gets stale. What AEW has done, and because WWE had that stranglehold, a lot of the companies didn't work together. New Japan wasn't doing anything with WWE or Impact or WCW until they bought them out, or ECW. You had to find the niche wrestling that you liked and you had to follow it. What AEW has done effectively is open back up those avenues. It's very possible that one day you can watch a wrestler wrestle in Japan for New Japan, and then the next day come to Impact Wrestling. It's wild. And what gets you excited is because you're like, oh man, that guy from that AEW match, he wrestles in AAA. Let me watch some of his matches for AAA. And now you're like, oh wow, AAA wrestling is amazing. It's wild. I think if you allow yourself to open up to all these different wrestling promotions, not only will you have a better love for wrestling, you will find that you probably like wrestling in a whole different way than you did before.
And I will also say, on kind of that same note of AEW, I don't think I've gone on record and talked about the whole Cody scenario, and I'm not going to get into, too much of like details like on that. But what I am going to say is that I look at it now and I realize that what Cody did was probably better for AEW.
Oh yeah,
than anything else. And I think he honestly did it with AEW in mind. I don't think he left and was like, I'm going to selfishly go to WWE. I don't think he did that at all. I think he really opened that door.
because now we can have a legitimate conversation about MJF going to WWE, and I don't think that was a true conversation until Cody went over there.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. First of all, I've given AEW multiple chances. For some reason, I just can't get down with it. You know, not saying it's not a great promotion. Maybe I need to watch it more or whatever, but like, I don't know. I think, well, what I don't like about wrestling nowadays is like, okay, so let's go back to, I don't know, 2007. Okay.
Attitude Era.
Oof. What a time. Oh no!
No.
07's
Let's-
ruthless aggression.
Oh
Let's
no,
go.
Ruthless Aggression.
Ruthless
Let's go 06. Still ruthless aggression.
Still ruthless aggression. It's like the year after John Cena smacks Kurt Angle in the face, or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it like 2 years after? 3 years?
2006, John Cena was WWE champion.
Okay, so 3 years after. So
Eric
03,
Bischoff and all that. Right. So, we didn't get the pay-per-views, you know? So, like, when you watched Raw that Monday night, you literally had no idea what happened, right? So, let's say, for example, like, what was the pay-per-view? New Year's Revolution. 06, John Cena went to the Elimination Chamber, won the Elimination Chamber, then Edge cashed in money into the bank and beat him.
Yeah.
Right. No idea that happened until we watched it that Monday night, right?
Right.
You showed up like Monday night, and then Edge came out with the title, right? Or when like, which guy am I talking about? Like when in like 09, when like Chris Jericho came back, like there was no talks. You know, I feel like social media has ruined the surprise in wrestling. You know?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
Like it is a modern day dirt sheets. And the thing is with the dirt sheets back in the day is that you used to have to like look for them, which by the way, dirt sheets in wrestling terms are like pretty much when they used to like pull back the curtain. So when you used to hear about this like wrestler has like a legit contract dispute with the company. Like, for example, if we're talking about CM Punk, we're talking about like Phil Brooks had a legit contract dispute with World Wrestling Entertainment, and that was on a dirt sheet. And it would be like blogs online and shit like that. Now you don't need that. Now you just go on Twitter, and you got to be careful like on Sundays, like during pay-per-views, because they will just tell you everything that's going on. That's a problem with wrestling as a whole, though. I mean, and where I'm going to use this moment to slander WWE, what WWE does is that they see those dirt sheets and those things, and they sit there and they go, well, we got to keep surprising them. Well, sometimes the surprise isn't the best thing to do. Sometimes the best thing to do is the most obvious. For example, keeping the belt on Roman Reigns right now. It would be a huge swerve to take the belt off of Roman Reigns. And they would get a major pop in ratings that very next week. But if they don't put it on someone solid, those ratings are going to jump back down. And WWE they do that so much. They do it so much because sometimes the best thing to do is just the thing that makes sense.
I think it was a mistake to unify the titles to start with.
Yeah.
When Roman got sick, what was it? When him and was it Royal Rumble? Where him and Brock were supposed to fight for the Universal title, and Roman got COVID. And then they moved him. Then they moved Brock Lesnar to Raw, and he jumped into that match, and then he won the WWE title. Like, that was stupid. What they should have did was just have Brock go to the ring and then have Roman not show up and Brock just smash everything in sight. And then for the next couple of weeks, he's looking for Roman until the match is official. And then at WrestleMania, they fight for that and not have taken the title off of Big E.
So, I mean, I just want to say, I mean, I think it was pretty apparent that WWE did not really believe in Big E as a champion, as a singles champion.
They didn't believe in Kofi as a champion either, and I thought that was pretty stupid. Like
they didn't believe in it with them when they put it on him. Like it didn't matter.
The problem with WWE is they don't. I feel like McMahon is so far detached from the fans that he doesn't understand that. Oh, we can like a guy that's not 7 feet tall. Because what wrestling entertainment is supposed to be, it's supposed to be your best fighters fighting for the championship. It's very possible that you have these guys that have been training all their lives that can take down a guy like Brock Lesnar, that could take down a guy like Braun Strowman. And when you have a guy that has so much charisma, like a Rey Mysterio or a Kofi Kingston or a Daniel Bryan, and you're not utilizing that, the beauty of something that I hear a lot about AEW is they like, yeah, they got a bunch of small guys. And I'm like, have you fucking seen these guys wrestle though? Have you seen like what they can do? If we're talking about ability, I would say the head over heels AEW over WWE, but I don't think WWE respects wrestling as much as they do showmanship.
I agree, because see, wait, what was I about to say? Two things. Okay, one unpopular opinion: the New Day was a stupid idea and is a stupid idea, but because it worked only because it had no choice.
Oh, there's always a choice.
No.
They forced it to work. They made it work.
Right.
Xavier Woods is that damn good. That's what it is. Like,
okay.
To be honest with you.
So,
because remember, the original New Day was like a religious thing.
Yeah, I remember.
And then they transitioned it.
Yeah, I remember. It was stupid then.
Yeah.
I still think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Because Big E went from Dolph Ziggler's muscle to a pancake eating, booty holes living.
But it worked.
They did indeed become a meme team.
100%.
But because they played into the meme,
fucking worked.
Right, but I feel like if they'd have just let Kofi be Kofi, Kofi would be a 7-time or 8-time champion right now.
Definitely not. Absolutely not. Because
wait, what do you mean by that?
Not world champion, but a champion.
Are you saying that, like, are you trying to say that, like, Kofi needed, like, Thomas, are you trying to say that, like, Kofi needed New Day to be that champion and that's why he wouldn't be that? Or because I think what Lionel's saying is that if Kofi was just able to be Kofi and they respected him for that, he would have been a multiple time champion because of his talent and his charisma and everything like that. Taking WWE out of the equation in that scenario, I think that's what he's saying.
Okay,
yeah.
Yes,
then yeah.
And I don't know why, like, and I feel like the WWE chooses how people suck, because, like, if you ever watch Xavier Woods like wrestle, he's good.
He's so good.
But it's like they always put him in this position where he's getting his ass whooped all the time.
Because they want Xavier Woods to be a manager, and managers have to get their ass whooped. But the problem is that Xavier Woods, prior to coming to the WWE, was like a multi-time champion. Xavier Woods was a very well-established individual.
He was a part of Impact.
Good.
Was he Consequences Creed? Was that him?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely amazing.
Jesus.
Kurt Angle saved that business.
The weed and the pills aside, that Kurt Angle,
Perk Angle aside,
I random unpopular opinion. I don't know how people feel about this. Kurt Angle's ultra intense Kurt Angle, like the wrestling machine Kurt Angle was the best Kurt Angle.
Okay, yeah.
Olympic
I can-
hero Kurt Angle was good and was needed, but when you look at like the ability versus like the ability with like the promos with like the because it was later in his career, so when he really had to like, but the like the singlet being drawn down, the MMA like
Yeah,
all
the
that like
mouthpiece. He was
incredible.
monster.
Another fucking level, and the fact that you did that high as shit 90% of the time is also incredible to me.
Just like, man.
I don't know, man.
He's like, you really shouldn't be at the top of that cage, Perk Angle. Be careful.
What?
Another unpopular opinion, I think, and this is just me. The Hardy Boys and the Dudleys were overrated.
Hardy's yes, Dudley's no.
I disagree with the whole statement.
No.
I think
I didn't the whole concept of like the Dudley Boys, I just didn't like, because like I feel like every time there's a tag team that's like black and white, the black guy always has to be the one who's quiet and just like does all the stupid shit while the white guy does all the talking.
So here's the problem with the WWE's version of Dudley Boys. Because what WWE tried to do was that they tried to capitalize off of what they did in ECW and bring it over, but they didn't bring everything with it. So if you go back and you watch the Dudleys from ECW, Devon did all of the talking. Why? Because Bubba Ray was a bumbling idiot. When Bubba Ray first came out and he did the boop, 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 like that was all ECW stuff. So the whole thing behind the Dudley Boys originally is that they're not just a tag team. They're a fucking cult. There was a sign guy. There was a dude with a mask. There was like 10 of them. And Bubba Ray and Devon were the most evil people in ECW, which to put that in perspective for you.
yeah, they had monsters over there.
You got crazy people, and the Dudleys were at the top of that. So when they came over to WWE, they tried to capitalize off of that, which is why they originally came out in the overalls with all the psychedelics and stuff, because that was what they were. They were so over, though, that legitimately, like when they did the whole table thing, because did they do that in ECW as much?
I don't think they did.
Like,
Sort of.
like it definitely wasn't like the main thing, but I know they did it.
It wasn't, because the thing about, because ECW, all their matches were always like Extreme Rules.
Exactly.
So yeah, tables were always there.
Exactly.
But it wasn't until like when they were in the WWE where they made it a point to be like, yeah, always get a table.
And that was when you had the transition from this, but you have to understand the underlying thing of why that was the case. Now, let's just call it what it is. WWE hasn't treated black people well. So the fact that they looked at Devon, because Devon is so fucking good. I would go to say that Devon was better than Bubba Ray all the way until Aces and Eights. Once Aces and Eights hit, Bubba was a whole nother fucking person.
Yeah.
Aces and Eights, Bubba is the best damn thing. And Devon falls back from that. But prior to that, if you look at it, keep in mind, Devon got over as Brother Devon. And I don't know if I think I went to a show when Brother Devon was the thing, because I remember we went to that show and Dave Bautista was there. And they walked around in New Orleans and they took the money and everything like that. I think it might have been a different show, but I remember going and seeing that. He was over. People booed the fuck out of him. He was over. And people look at him as like a mid-card. He was over. They could have put the title on him and he would have been fine, to be honest with you. But so I'm gonna say the Dudleys, no. The Hardys, I'm saying I agree with you on the Hardys because I know that you haven't kept up with the Hardys moving forward. So they've transcended. Like, Matt is an incredible promo dude. Like, he is honestly.
I've been keeping up with the Hardys.
He's honestly one of the best in the business. Like, his ability to be able to his ability to shift from character to character is reminiscent of Mick Foley. And he's the only one who could do it like that.
Yep.
The only one who could
I
do
agree.
it.
They are great individually.
I would actually go to say I don't think Jeff Hardy's that great. And I've always kind of had that opinion.
No, he's not. But I will say
It's not.
he's. I mean, I love Jeff.
The most clunky motherfucker in that goddamn
Very
ring.
clunky. But where his specialty is he's a high flyer.
He
He's
is.
willing to take mad bumps. And there's this love-hate relationship with the Hardys, because you love them because they really did revitalize. I think they really did revitalize WWE tag teams, because they were very electric. When they got in the ring, people were excited. When you heard that music hit, you were excited. And it really did make tag team wrestling important in WWE around that time. But where their flaw lies is because the Hardy Boys were like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go through 5 tables. Now you have a bunch of other wrestlers like, fuck it, 10 tables. And you're like, no, we can't keep escalating. As much as and it breaks my heart watching Jeff Hardy wrestle now, because I'm like, stop it. You're already hurt. Stop it.
It is terrifying.
And Sean, you brought up an interesting point about the WWE and black wrestlers, right? Because you think about it, right?
Ain't good.
Like
It ain't good.
think about this for a second, right? The WWE pushed the Spirit Squad. Kenny Dykstra got pushed over Shelton Benjamin. You kidding me?
I'm gonna say this about Shelton. And Shelton's one of my favorite wrestlers. Shelton couldn't talk.
It don't matter about him being able to talk.
No, at that time it did, because you know what Kenny could do? Kenny could talk.
But Kenny couldn't wrestle.
No, he couldn't. The only one that could wrestle was Nikki, and that's because he's still around to this day.
Right.
But talking during that time was more important than the ability.
Okay, so let me put this to you. How many black champions do you think there've been since the induction of the WWE?
Like WWE champions or world champions?
Yeah, WWE world champions.
I could probably name them all.
All right, give it to me.
Since WWE became WWE in what, 2003? 2002.
2003.
Just say 2000.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
we'll
go.
say 2000.
2000.
Okay, so Mark Henry was a WWE champion,
Okay.
a world champion. Bobby Lashley was a world champion. Booker T was a world champion. Kofi Kingston was a world champion. I guess you want to count The Rock.
100%.
I said Mark Henry.
No, that's all of them.
That's
The
it.
Rock,
That's it. That's
Booker
it.
T,
That's it.
Mark Henry, Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley, Big E.
That's it.
I didn't
Six.
mention. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Right.
That's
And it's
it.
like, and then like look at and like, you know what? The WWE really had something going with the Hurt Business. Like I really liked it because you got the Bloodline right now, which I think is a pretty cool faction. Like that's kind of lit. I'm not gonna lie, like it ain't.
It's the best thing in WWE going right now.
It's
I'll
kinda
say
lit.
that.
It's
So
very nice.
you're telling me like eventually we would have had like if the Bloodline, like I don't know why they broke Bobby Lashley away, because he could have been WWE champion with the Hurt Business. Like the Hurt Business could have been what the Bloodline is now on Raw.
Or what they're trying
Right.
to build with Edge and his people, which
I'm not.
I don't know.
I'm not sold on that, because like Damian Priest, although he's pretty, like he's good. Like I don't know if I would have turned him heel just yet, but not without a WWE title shot first.
Oh, he won't. He's not going to
Right.
get a WWE title shot.
No, I would have at least given him one before I turned him heel. But it's like, so you had the Hurt Business, like Cedric Alexander, Shelton, Bobby Lashley, MVP as a manager. That's a hellified faction.
And then you
And-
also had like Hanging Around the Outside. You also had like Apollo Crews. It was absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. Who was the other one that was in there as well?
You got Titus O'Neil. Like, I feel like the WWE should either like let R-Truth be serious or release him, because I'm so tired of seeing him shuck and jive all over WWE. I think it's the stupidest shit going.
I think it's his choice at this point.
Like,
because
it's stupid.
R-Truth, Ron Killings, at one point in time was the best wrestler in the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hands fucking down.
Absolutely.
Technically the first black NWA champion.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he
Yeah,
beat
I
Jeff
mean,
Jarrett?
He did. He did at one point. I,
I mean,
don't know if it
yeah.
was for the title though, but because I want to say he beat someone like oh god, what's his name?
Was
One of like the TNA like, or I think it might have been fucking
Armand Johnson?
yeah, I think it might. Well, no, it couldn't have been
Marcus
Johnson.
Corvon.
Marcus Corvon.
Hang on. He went by Marcus Corvon, but I don't know if he in the WWE.
Fuck is that?
Hang on. I'm about to tell you who he is in a second. Monty Brown.
Mm.
Oh, Monty
Monty Brown.
Gee, he beat Monty Brown.
Earlier in his career.
I'm talking about like to be the first, because Monty Brown was black.
No, he beat Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, he
get
beat
the-
Jeff Jarrett.
He beat Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, Monty Brown was another one that
Right.
I watched a video on Monty Brown because I didn't really know a ton about him.
But just look at it. Like, you had this going on Raw. You had the plans of giving Roman Reigns a faction on SmackDown. Like, Crash Course.
Mhm.
It would have, like, that would have, you telling me that would have been a hell of, if you're going to do something at Backlash, or if you're going to like do something title versus title, like faction versus faction, loser dissolves, like, you know, I feel like they have the ball, right? They shoot it, like they just like airball all the time on purpose.
I mean, I'm about to say it's not even on purpose. They just pass the ball out of bounds on purpose. And it's mainly because they feel as though that the black wrestlers just don't have it. In the words of Triple H, you know, people like you don't become champions. And I mean that's the mentality of the company, which makes zero sense. And the only reason, and I'm also going to say this about the 5 people that we mentioned, you could not, there was no way to deny The Rock the championship in 2000. Like, you could, if they had done that, it would have killed the company. So you didn't have a choice. Okay.
Right.
Mark Henry's
Okay.
huge. Bobby Lashley's huge. Booker T, again, you couldn't not do it. Because a lot of people want to talk about Booker T and how he was like a mid-carder at best. Booker T is one of the best wrestlers ever. One of the most accomplished wrestlers ever in both tag team and singles competition. Come at me. And then Kofi Kingston, they had to give Kofi Kingston the title because the WWE universe started to realize, oh, hey, like there's a big problem going on here. And you got the New Day, who are these very, like, you know, people and like very big people, but they're not getting title shots. So like their hand was either forced or they're fucking huge. And that's a problem. It's a major problem.
You gave Xavier Woods King of the Ring to do what with it?
To do absolutely nothing.
Right.
Which was a travesty. I mean,
Absolutely. stupid.
Baron
It
Corbin-
doesn't make any sense.
Baron Corbin was the last King of the Ring, and he got the biggest push.
and
Right?
I like Baron Corbin, I do, but like there's more talent. Like there's more talent. I mean, you have more talent in Leo Rush. You know,
Exactly. Exactly. Like, think about it. Swerve Scott.
oh, he went to AEW.
Yeah, he's in AEW
My
now.
boy
I
went
know.
to
I
AEW.
know.
And he's killing it. He's
So let me-
teamed up
Swerve
with
Scott.
my boy that WWE
Oh,
fumbled the ball with so hard, Keith Lee.
fucking
That
Keith Lee.
man.
I can't believe we haven't even brought up Keith Lee in this fucking conversation yet. How?
It's-
How do you mess up Keith Lee? It literally it
How
was
do you not allow the most athletic big man to go out there and be
Ever.
the most athletic
Ever.
big man?
ever.
It doesn't make any
How?
sense.
how do you mess up Keith Lee?
Hey, let's
How
not
do you
even
mess up Keith Lee?
let's not mention now, like, the women's division. Like, Becky Lynch should have been able to come back and just beat Bianca Belair in like
Ronda
10
Rousey should not be
seconds.
champion.
I agree. Big agree.
The SmackDown's women's division is not even close to being as good as the Raw women's division right now. But like I said, like Naomi, like, she was at the top, and then they give her the stupid gimmick where she's beefing with Sonya Deville, who is an official.
So
Right.
I'll tell you
It's
where
like-
Naomi ran into issues.
Come on.
So they gave Naomi the Funkadelics thing with Brodus Clay. And that was what, like, she was. Then they tried to break that off, and they did it wrong. They tried to break that off by saying, we're dancers on our own now. We just don't dance for Brodus Clay anymore. And if they had just let them be tag teams together and like create their own identity and stuff, we would see a very different Naomi. However, with that being said, I still don't think that's who should be carrying your division. It should be Sasha Banks. And I don't understand why it's not. I don't understand why it's not. I don't understand why it's not.
I can give you Sasha, but who I won't give you is Charlotte. I just Flair.
Charlotte
Convince me.
Charlotte
Flair.
is great. No,
Flair.
Here's the thing. Charlotte legitimately is great. And I'm going to tell you why we know that's the case. Because in a scenario where both Sasha and Bayley were hurt, like that was your star power, you had no one to give it to. Asuka was gone. And they didn't build anybody else. Carmella wasn't ready yet, like all that stuff. So you put it on Charlotte on the back of she's a Flair, and that's fine. But Charlotte Flair is one of the people responsible for that Divas Revolution not dying off when it first started. Because it was there. But see, and we like to do this a lot with the Attitude Era as well. We like to sit there and say Stone Cold Steve Austin gave his thing at King of the Ring and nothing was the same after. They don't talk about the fact that Stone Cold Steve Austin stayed in the mid-card for 9 months after that until they finally decided to give him that push. They don't talk about the fact that the original person who was supposed to be King of the Ring for that year was Triple H, but because of the curtain call incident, they had to punish somebody.
Yeah.
So,
Which is stupid.
They could say Attitude Era started there. It truly didn't, because you didn't care about it. We do the same thing, and they try and do the same thing with the Women's Revolution. You had Sasha and Bayley. You had God, who are the four horsemen? I'm fucking up. Sasha, Bayley. Who are the other two? Becky and Thomas was the other one. Who's the fourth one?
Sasha, Bayley, Becky.
Is it Charlotte? I don't think it's Charlotte.
It is
Yeah.
Charlotte.
It can't be. It has to be someone else.
Is it Asuka?
It might.
No, it wasn't
It
Asuka.
can't be Asuka.
You sure it wasn't
Who the
Naomi?
fuck was it?
You sure it wasn't Naomi?
No, it wasn't Naomi. I'm telling you right now, it wasn't Naomi. I love Naomi to death. I really do, but no.
Anyway,
I
continue.
don't remember. But they had that moment, right? And then they sat there and they said, this is what we're gonna do. But what they don't talk about is that after that, they didn't capitalize on it. Because what happened? Sasha and Bayley got hurt. So you lost some of your star power. Becky Lynch went away, and Becky Lynch wasn't doing. Becky Lynch is good sometimes and not great others. She still has some growing to do. Like, it was what it was. But Charlotte Flair had the star power, had the name recognition, which, listen, Randy Orton wouldn't be Randy Orton without his dad and his grandpa. I'm going to let you know that right now. It is what it is. And here's another one you're not going to like. The Rock wouldn't be The Rock without his dad and his grandpa. That just is what it is. Third generation superstars are important. Charlotte's a second generation superstar. She just happens to be the second generation of the great, one of the, well, not even gonna say the greatest wrestler fucking ever. So
I'm gonna say showman.
I'm gonna say wrestler. Because
You can say wrestler.
Ric
I'm gonna
Flair.
say showman.
Lionel, do not disrespect Ric Flair by calling him a showman over being a wrestler. You want to look at Ric Flair when he was old, when he came to WWE? Fine. Go back and look at WCW Ric Flair, though.
Yeah, when he was a monster.
One thing I do know, but continue with your
He
original.
ain't jumping around, but he's
You also have to realize the reason why his wrestling style is like it is was he was in a plane crash and it fucked up his back and neck. So before he used to do crazy shit, but then he had to kind of change his style. And then with changing his style, that came his new gimmick of styling, profiling, limousine riding.
You know how athletic Sting was back in the day?
Monster.
Some of Ric Flair's best matches are against Sting, and he's keeping up, and he's throwing Sting around the ring. So like, go back and watch like old like 80s like WCW with Ric Flair. I'm telling you, Ric Flair's a wrestler. There's a reason why he's the best. There's a reason. It's not just because of the name recognition. I promise. Because the man had to work.
Okay.
The man worked with the best.
I'll put a pin in that one.
Yeah. But Charlotte is talented. She's nowhere near where her dad is on the mic.
Right.
But she knows how to get heat. And when you have a struggling division of anything, and I'm gonna route this back to something. You don't put your title on a baby face. You put it on a heel. Because the heel can draw the heat. Hence why they brought back Roman Reigns to be a heel. Because that division was fucking dying. They had nothing because they didn't build anything. And they needed something. And Roman Reigns is what was needed at the time. But Charlotte Flair brought that recognition back to the women's division when it was about to go away. And as much as I'm not a fan of her currently, I got to give her credit where credit's due. I got to do it. Because Bayley and Sasha Banks may have been not first women to headline a show, but might have, put on like the Iron Man match and the NXT takeovers and everything like that. But when it was all said and done, people were paying to see Charlotte Flair. And that just is what it is. Because for a while, Charlotte Flair was the most popular wrestler in WWE. It was like for like 2-year stretch, but it was there. And you can look at the numbers.
I can stand behind that. Yeah, I can stand behind that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I say what you want, but that just kind of is what it is. Because WWE hates women.
And they hate black people.
And they hate black people. Let's just call it what it is. But I'll tell you what, you know what they do love, though? They love the Hispanic wrestlers. They love them. The Hispanic and the Mexican wrestlers, they love them. They love them. Because I'll tell you, if people didn't force them not to put Alberto Del Rio on shit, they'd bring him back in a heartbeat.
Oh, and
I promise you what. Man, look.
Before we let me get this out. You guys know what's the tag team name with Chad Gable and
I don't remember the name.
Otis. I don't know the name.
It's American.
Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy. That may be the stupidest tag team in WWE right now.
Yeah, but Chad Gable's absolutely incredible.
Exactly.
And Otis is a lot better than what we give him credit for.
Exactly.
But they made Otis a fat slob.
Exactly.
And they made Chad Gable
a whiny little bitch.
Oh my God. What's his name from back in the day? I'll tell you what he reminded Charles Noble. They made him Charles Noble.
Okay.
Charles Noble.
Wait,
Jamie Noble.
Jamie Noble. Jamie Noble. Charles Noble might be somebody different.
Hey, you want to know what else the WWE tried to pull off? Y'all I'm not gonna let them forget. An Asian redneck. Y'all remember Jimmy Wang Yang?
Jimmy Wang Yang, again, another absolutely incredibly talented individual.
I love that guy.
So, funny story about Jimmy Wang Yang. I don't know, Thomas, you might have heard this one before. But Jimmy Wang Yang performed at a show. And Vince McMahon was walking backstage. And he looked at Jimmy Wang Yang and he said, "Hey, you really look like you know what you're doing out there. Like, I'll tell you what you should do. You should come and audition for WWE and we'll get you on TV." And Jimmy Wang Yang looked at him and said, "I already work for WWE." And they never put Jimmy Wang Yang on TV after that. So Vince McMahon had no idea Jimmy Wang Yang was being paid by his company, but he was impressed with him enough to notice him, but then never put him on TV after that.
The WWE, I'm just gonna start listing off some of the stuff WWE tried to pull off, which I thought was pretty stupid. Remember Deuce and Domino, the tag team from the 50s?
Yep.
Jeez.
That was stupid.
With Chuck Palumbo, who was actually a really good wrestler.
Palumbo, God, he was like Mike Awesome, but like to talk better.
Y'all remember what's his name? Jesse and Festus.
Another fantastic
with
wrestler in Festus, the original Imposter Kane. Again, another absolutely fantastic wrestler that they just ruined.
Y'all remember when they teamed R-Truth with The Miz?
Okay, hold on.
That was stupid.
R-Truth and The Miz was a great tag team.
No, it wasn't.
It was. And I'm going to tell you why.
Show Miz was better, but...
No. Big Show's great, and he deserves every flower that has ever been planted in this world because the man is the most adaptable wrestler to ever live. However, The Miz is, in my opinion, and this is my personal opinion, and I've gotten pushed back on this. If I don't have Miz in my top 5 talkers, I got him in my top 10. But he's awesome. Close.
But I don't like Miz.
Now, R-Truth is absolutely incredible as well. And the thing is that R-Truth may do stupid shit, but he's killed every single thing that they've given him. There hasn't been a thing that he hasn't gotten over. And you put those two together, and maybe WWE didn't put as much as they should have, but the R-Truth and the Miz were still absolutely fantastic. They could have been better, but they were good. I can't give you that one.
I will go on the record and say that the Miz is highly underrated.
Absolutely.
I would honestly like when it comes to like the impact on the WWE, because think about all the people he put over. Right.
The man has the most respect for the business, probably. I think the only person who has some more respect for the business is The Rock. Because you don't really hear a lot of people say they don't like The Rock.
Maybe John Cena. Maybe.
No. John Cena. No.
Anyway,
He did a lot.
Y'all remember Adam? Remember Adam Rose?
Yeah.
No, and the whole not really.
And so Adam Rose, the whole
Rose Garden,
and they had the all the people partying, and they had like the mascots and
Okay.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Yeah, they ruined again. Adam Rose was another very accomplished wrestler.
You know who else's career they're ruining right now? Finn Balor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Finn Balor's untouchable. I don't really think you could ruin Finn Balor at this point.
I don't know. I think he should have went back to New Japan where they would have let him rock, where they would have let him just go out there and be a monster like he knows how to be.
Like, I think about all of the wrestlers. Like, I hate a part-time wrestler. Like, if you're going to be the WWE champion, you need to be in the main event every week in some way, shape, or form. I think the last like full-time fighting champion was John Cena.
Yep.
Maybe when Edge, like I think you got rid of the
Jericho.
full-time Jericho, Punk.
He can't even say Punk.
Alberto Del Rio was fighting every week in some way, shape, or form. Like Batista was fighting every week. The Undertaker was fighting every week. You know.
No, he wasn't. No, he
Yeah, he
wasn't.
was. Yeah, he
At
was.
what point in his career?
When he was world champion.
What, the world heavyweight champion? They had him out there every week? I don't think so. I'm telling you right now, that's not the case.
I think so.
Now, you want to talk about undisputed champion? Maybe. You want to talk about WWE
Okay.
champion in the 90s?
Maybe not the Undertaker. All right, shut up. But you know,
See how
you
we
had-
handle being wrong differently on this?
you maybe not the Undertaker, but the whole like I'm the champion and I'm not just coming out every week and talking shit on the mic is, you know, kind of gone. And I think honestly that's where AEW has WWE beat. The titles actually mean something to those guys. I will give AEW that.
When AEW first put the win-loss thing on the screen, I knew they did it right because they finally solved the problem that had existed for too long in WWE, is that wins and losses don't mean a goddamn thing. And in AEW, it does. It does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Drew McIntyre was a bad idea.
What stage? The first time or now?
Now,
Wrong.
like think about it. Okay, so you go from fighting Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar to Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss.
Keep in mind that was COVID years, and they only had so many people to play with.
So
They only had so many people.
So he brought the WWE through the COVID year.
He did.
And when you bring the crowds back, you put them on the mid card. It's a bad idea.
So here's the thing. When you, and I think this is one issue that I think AEW has, but I think it has to do with the way that we view wrestling. When wrestlers do well, we want to see them as champion. Simple as that. So, like, I'll tell you, the next person who I want to see champion in AEW is Eddie Kingston. And if it's not Eddie Kingston, I'm going to be upset. Because I've been wanting Eddie Kingston since he showed up. But that's not how it works. You could only do so much. So, like, I'm going to refer to our game here for a second, right? So, because, like, I think we do this pretty well. So for those of you who don't know, we essentially run our own wrestling company.
I was about to ask you. It's like, fuck
like,
all this stuff y'all talking about. Tell me about this game.
Go ahead, Thomas. Go ahead.
So this game is called Worldwide Wrestling. And in this game, our DM, which is my little brother, Michael Jones.
Shout out Mike.
He's made a wrestling company, CCW, Classic Championship Wrestling. And in making this company, he's the booker. So he books our matches, who we're going to go against. And collectively, as players, we kind of decide our feuds, what we want our feuds to be about, how we do our matches. And I think because we're all wrestling adjacent, we kind of do a good job of figuring out, okay, this is how, if we were doing this in front of people, this is the story that we want to tell, and this is how we'll tell that story. And, you know, and Sean said this earlier when we were talking about it, sometimes the best thing to do is the simplest thing. The easiest way to start a feud, Michael says this all the time, the easiest way to challenge the champion for the title is to walk in the ring and then point at the title.
Occam's razor.
That's all there is to it.
The simplest explanation is always the best.
So, like, sometimes you can pull off a good swerve. Like, for example, in our game, I was the first, like, player champion for our season. I beat one of the NPCs and then became, you know, champion. And I lost the title in a very shocking fashion that nobody in the game saw coming, including myself. And that individual who really at the time nobody really thought was going to be able to that was going to be a champion, that was going to be champion. Shout out Phil. Phil's great. Ended up being champion and was champion for the majority of our game. However, the entire time we're playing, the champion should be Thomas. The whole time. And we're playing it that way. However, we can't take it off of Phil because Phil's doing a really good job. The story hasn't developed enough to be able to have Thomas be champion yet. So you got to play the middle. So what do you do in the middle? And I think what we probably do the best is that we find ways to be able to tell stories that are connected to the two wrestlers, but slowly push them together.
Yep.
Where eventually the two sides that eventually will meet, and exactly who's going to win. Like we all went into the last event knowing exactly what was going to happen, but it didn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if you tell the right story, even if it plays out the way you want, or even if it plays out the way that you know it's going to play out, you could still do a good job.
Can I sit in on one of these? This sounds pretty
Absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely.
You can sit in on Wednesday. I won't be there because I'm gonna be doing my stuff. But yeah.
Get it. Well, we play on Discord, so if you have a Discord,
I have a Discord.
Shoot us your name, and then I'll talk to Mike, and then we'll shoot you the invite.
Yeah.
So this reminds me of like a funny a wrestling story where me and Sean were playing WWE, was it 2019 online, and we were playing with a guy in our fantasy group, Albert. And so me and Sean go back and forth on a lot of games. Right. It's to the point where the fact we know it's going to be competitive. You're not going to win every time. It wasn't like that at first, but it's Sean's probably about to beat me, right? So me and Sean have been playing for a minute. So I have figured out some stuff Sean did. Sean figured out some stuff I did. When I got hot, Sean know hey, I'm about to roll out the ring for a minute. I'm gonna use this 10 seconds and I'm gonna get my weight up real quick, right? So we were talking in the group, and Albert was like, I'll whoop both of your asses, right? And it's all right, Albert, sure. So we let him in the ring. I got hot, right? And Albert's standing outside. Sean is way on the other side, catching his breath. And I said, Albert, if you get in this ring, I'm gonna kick you in the fucking face and I'm gonna win the match.
No, you said you're gonna RKO him.
Yeah, it was RKO. It's I'm gonna fucking RKO you, and that's gonna be the end of the match. And he was like, you won't be able to get that off in time. And Sean goes, Albert, don't do it.
Because I can't get in because I'm on the ground.
Right, because he's stunned.
So I'm done. I'm out the match. I'm done.
Albert runs into the ring, and as soon as he got in, I caught him.
And I was like, God damn.
I told you.
It was so great.
And I'm just sitting there, and I'm I finally get up, and it's 3. And I'm like,
it's too late. It was too late.
Thanks, Albert.
It was too late.
Fantastic.
But yeah, that was just something I thought of. It was fun. Now, Sean won a lot of those matches. Not because he beat me, but because Albert was so stupid. It's
there would be times where Lionel would have me beaten, and then Albert's gonna go and start hitting Lionel, and then start beating up on Lionel instead of throwing Lionel out the ring and pinning me.
And I'm like, Sean had 3 finishers banked, right? I hit Sean in the back of the head with a bat. What does Albert do? Hit me in the back of the head with a bat instead of throwing me out of the ring and pinning Sean. And you know what Sean does? Sean gets up and he hits Albert with the finisher 3 times in a row.
Jesus Christ. You monster.
Me stunned because he hit me with a goddamn bat. I'm like, Albert, you're incredibly stupid.
And then I won the match.
And then his finisher was something stupid. It was some neck breaker. A regular, it was a neck breaker. A regular neck breaker. It's
It was like you know how when you pick like a technician, they give you like that like type of neck breaker, like that jumping neck breaker, that swinging neck breaker type of thing.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Okay.
We were like, all right, man, come on, you gotta do something different.
His character, like, you know, where everybody's moves focus on the certain body part that the finisher focuses on. Like Randy Orton is going to work on your head and neck.
Right.
Because, you know, one of his finishers, he's going to bring you from the ropes and hit you with a DDT, and then you're going to get RKO. It's like Seth Rollins does the same thing. Like, you know, curb stomp, he's working on like a body part. Albert just picks moves that look good.
Yep.
So he hits you with a finisher, and it's the first time he's done anything on you like that to like give you any type of color on a body part, and then he tries to pin you, you kick out at one. He's like, "Oh, you guys are cheating." No, you didn't put in
you
the
just
time.
don't know how to play the game.
Yeah, you just have no clue how to play this game.
Learn to play the game.
And the thing is, I've been playing these games since. Gee, I don't even know. I had Warzone on N64. I'll put it to you that way.
Bro, listen. I wish they revamped WWF No Mercy
That is
for
so
the Xbox.
99% of people will say that is the best wrestling game that they've made.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you go through and you look at the rankings of wrestling games, it's like that. Here Comes the Pain. And I think like SmackDown versus Raw. Like I think those are the three.
I think the very last SmackDown versus Raw they made was the best SmackDown versus Raw.
I thought, the last one they made,
Like
was
2011.
11.
Yeah.
I think 11 was good. My personal favorite was 2K13. My personal favorite was 2K13. Thought 2K13 was great.
15 was my favorite. But this new 22, I like it a lot because it has a lot of No Mercy vibes with it. So I don't know if you've downloaded or played 2K22 yet. Thomas, have you played 2K22 yet?
No, I haven't played any recent wrestling game, really.
So WWE 2K22, like you actually have to grapple. Like you don't just like on 2K19, you have to walk up to a guy and hit A and then move the left stick over and you can do a strong grapple. No, in the new WWE, you have to grapple. Like actually hit the, I don't know if you have an Xbox or not. You have to hit the B button to grapple and then do a strong grapple. Like it's very Nintendo 64-ish. I think the WWE knew they had to like fix that because the last game was trash bag juice.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, if you guys aren't on that new game, you should try. Sean, I actually want to play you in some WWE. I need to re-up. And I know somebody who you can't beat, Sean.
Who I can't beat?
Can't beat.
Okay.
Terry.
I could probably beat Terry.
Listen.
I mean, right now you'd have to give me like, about like 2 hours to be able to get like accustomed to the game again. But
Terry is my older brother, Thomas.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Terry is probably a bigger wrestling fan than all of us. So, like, when we used to play like on the PlayStation, like we all had our own controllers and all that stuff. So we could play like there'd be like 4 of us playing, and it's like fatal 4-way. All right, we all got to jump on Terry and we got to eliminate him, or else none of us are going to win the match, right? No, Terry will buy us 3-on-1. He would literally divide us and conquer us.
Baby, Terry can beat me because I'll tell you right now. That's crazy.
Fuck like Jackie Chan.
Jeez.
But shout out to wrestling though.
Shout out to wrestling.
Wrestling's a great thing.
Watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door's happening soon, and I'm definitely gonna buy that shit. There are a lot of good matches on there. I'm so hyped for it.
So Lana, the Forbidden Door is basically this old concept where like Japanese wrestlers like come over to like the American wrestling companies and like wrestle and like connect those two. And for a while, because of things that happened with like Akira Tashada, I know I said that name completely fucking wrong, and I apologize. And like a couple other people, the New Japan was basically like, yeah, y'all aren't doing what we asked you to, so fuck y'all, we're closing the door. So there was no like true like New Japan American wrestling like crossover. AEW is now reopening that door. So now you can have New Japan wrestlers come over in their like with their characters from their companies here, and it's not like isolated. Like we can run feuds at the same time in New Japan as we are here and have them connect. And it'll bring New Japan to a bigger audience, which is what they need. Because New Japan is great and the most important wrestling company, honestly, to be honest with you. Because without New Japan, WWE fizzles out. Without New Japan, AEW doesn't exist. Without New Japan, TNA dies with fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
And AJ Styles.
AJ Styles is a New Japan guy.
He is a New Japan guy.
Yeah. Is he?
Yeah.
Chris,
Really? Oh yeah.
you know who else is a New Japan guy that nobody talks about? Chris Jericho.
Yep. When he was
Yushin Liger.
what was he going by? He was like still like something. He was like the Lion or something.
Yeah, it was like
it
was like King Lion or some craziness.
Something.
Oh
weird
no,
like that.
Lionheart.
Lionheart.
Yeah. Jericho was in New Japan. Who else was New Japan that we don't? I mean, Tajiri was obviously New Japan. And another guy who did not get a fair shot. Tajiri was a fucking world champion everywhere he went until WWE. Tajiri was that guy. We could go.
Yeah,
on
we could be
this
here
all night.
forever.
All right,
But
Thomas, this is the section of the show where it's your section of the show. So you can literally talk about anything you want to talk about.
So I know we've been here forever, so I'm gonna try and keep it, pretty condensed. But I do want to talk about, I do comedy. I played in bands. I'm a performer all around. And have you gotten a chance to listen to the album when Sean posted it?
I have.
And I'm out here working. And
You are.
And it's quite.
Did you cry at Opportunity?
My wife thought you were Jack Johnson.
That's funny.
Yo.
That's great.
Yo.
That's awesome.
Did you cry at Opportunity?
What?
Did you cry at Opportunity?
Did
the
I
song
cry?
Opportunity? Yes. I know what I'm asking.
No, I didn't cry.
Because Thomas is fucked up for making that damn song.
Oh man.
God.
One of my favorite songs.
God.
Opportunity.
Christ.
I was the guy that paid attention to when NASA was doing stuff. Like I followed them on Twitter and they would just post stuff about the Opportunity rover. So much so that it made me sad that I was like, fuck it, dude. I gotta write this song. And it's just been a long time coming. And I'm glad I was able to record it. But I think the most crazy experiences that I've had has been my journey through music. I feel like I've slowly moved from music to comedy, but music has always been my first love. I've played in a lot of different bands, a lot of different instruments. I used to play trumpet and trombone for ska bands. I play ska bands. I love fucking ska, bro. Ska.
What is this, like 1995?
Yeah.
So hold on, I'm gonna tell you a story in a little bit. So I'll tell it now. So when I was playing for a ska band, I played bass for this band, but sometimes I would play trombone. We were called the Kamikaze Muppets, and we were a ska core band. You understand what that means?
Hardcore ska?
Yes. We were a pop punk metal ska band.
Interesting.
And the thing was, there were only 2-3 other bands in the scene at that time. When I was in this band, the metal scene in New Orleans was huge. It was big. It was massive. So we were doing something that like not a lot of people were doing. And because we're from New Orleans, the appeal of horns has always been, a big thing. So people will come and watch. So, but we would get booked on these shows with these guys that were called stuff like Shutout and Burn Down the Sanctuary and Burn Face. That last one's not real, but it was basically a band. And we were like, we're the Kamikaze Muppets. So one time, so like we would go to these shows and we would start playing and people would be like, what the fuck? And then our singer, who had the most brutal screams, people would be like, oh, this is hot. And I know a lot of people say this, but we could have made it big if we would stop taking mushrooms. So
oh my God.
So one time we got booked at like this big metal show and it was a great show. It was great. But then, so this was over at bar's not there anymore. It used to be called Siberia. And while we're hanging out, show's going, people are moshing, it's fun. And then we notice, somebody pointed it out to me, there was a group of skinheads there. And, we have a rule, they're not hurting anybody, they're not doing anything. But once you let Nazis hang out at your bar, it becomes a Nazi bar. So, I say this as an individual. This at no point has been okay. The Peep This podcast does not support what I do, but sometimes you gotta fucking punch a Nazi.
Oh no, I can get behind that.
I'm a fairly non-violent person, but I mean, I
can get behind punch a Nazi.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody could get behind punching Nazis. The only reason I would say don't do that is because you never know if a Nazi has a knife, if they got a bottle. I don't want anybody to put themselves in a situation that would ever, that they could get hurt.
Okay, pause for a second, Thomas. Sean, pick up your mic. Thomas, leaning closer to your mic. Okay, we're gonna let Thomas finish his story, but ladies and gentlemen, don't punch Nazis unless you know they're not armed.
Right, unless you got backup and they're not armed, don't punch a Nazi.
Okay. Very much so, because we do not want you to get hurt by Nazis. We're not saying that you shouldn't, or that we disagree with punching Nazis. That's not what we're saying at all. We're saying if you're going to put your hands on a Nazi, make sure you can protect yourself.
Sure you can protect yourself. Okay. Thomas.
So, real quick, it's like, hey, what's good? Is that a swastika tattoo? And then he goes down, he looks at his arm, and I just go bam, and just real quick. And his friends start coming in. And then once everybody realized what was going on, no one in there is, hey, break it up. No, we're stomping Nazis and we're throwing them out the bar. We cleared out the Nazis that night, and it was only like 4 dudes. But the rest of that night, I got free drinks. Everybody bought me drinks. And it was probably one of the best shows I've ever been on.
Punch a Nazi, get a free drink.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of free drinks.
Not bad.
I ain't not too bad at all. That ain't too bad at all. I like it.
I like it a lot. Picasso. So, before we leave here,
can I do one more thing real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So I know this is a very hip hop centric podcast, and I respect it, of course. And I know that you guys have a wide variety of music that you listen to. And if you would allow me, I would have a couple of albums that recently dropped, a couple of projects that dropped that I think everyone should give a listen to outside of the hip hop.
Okay.
When you're ready.
So hang on, this full disclosure, you give us these albums, right? You got to come back and get our reactions. Good or
definitely.
Bad.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's the trade-off here. Okay, continue.
All right. I think all these albums or all these projects if I should say. Um, for me, they come at a right time, and I think they were. I think for like the time they came out, because a lot of these came out 2021, 2020, where we're just kind of coming off of this quarantine, and it's definitely a breath of fresh air. And I think they each do something very interesting. So the first one I'm gonna come out with is so I talked about rock and roll music earlier, and how it's how Black people are very present, and I want to kind of shed light on this one pop punk band that I think is absolutely killing it right now. They're called Meet Me at the Altar. They're an all-girl band with POCs, and when I listen to them play, it makes me think about when I played in a pop punk band and how much fun I had traveling, doing house shows. And their project in 2021, it's an EP, and it's called Modern Citizen. I think it is exactly what pop punk, it classifies what pop punk is. I think it does a really good job of making me feel that same feeling I had when I was listening to bands like 4 Years Strong and Forever the Sickest Kids. And I think, we need more, women and POCs in the forefront of music. And I think they're absolutely killing it right now. So check that out. Meet Me at the Altar, Model Citizen.
Okay.
Kind of fitting more in that subject. Beach Bunny is the best way I kind of like to describe it is surf rock. It's very slow. It's not slow, but it's very upbeat. It's the kind of music that if you think about like beach parties, when you watch those 80s movies where everybody's on the beach and they're all dancing on surfboards, that's the kind of feeling I get when I listen to Beach Bunny. They have their album that just dropped in 2020 and in 2022 called Emotional Creatures, but the project I kind of want to spread light on is Beach Bunny's 2021 EP, Blame Game. And the reason why I love it so much is I always like an album that kind of tells a story, or is very deep and tells like of personal experience. The Blame Game is very much about a girl who is growing up where men don't respect her. And they have a song, Nice Guys, where she's like, yeah, you got all these nice guys that, want to treat me nice and, want to date me, but like, they don't want to know me. Good Girls Don't Get Used is another one where it's like, I'm a good girl, so I don't get played, but because you love me, I fall for it every time. And the one that I think is absolutely stellar on this EP is Blame Game. And Blame Game, she says, I guess it's my fault that my body's fun to stare at. I guess it's my fault I can't stop your hands from grabbing. I guess it's the blame game. And it's the song that I love because it's super poppy and it's like you get a little dancing, but then you feel disgusting because you realize what she's saying. And I think it's something that everybody should give a shot to. And that's Blame Game by Beach Bunny. And the last one I'm going to throw out there is hands down one of my favorite artists of all time in any genre. And every album he comes out with, I'm like, that's my favorite album. No, that's my favorite album. Porter Robertson is a EDM DJ. He also goes by Altered Self, but that's when he's doing more. Mic close. So any of you like music purists and genre purists out there that are like, no, it's not EDM, it's actually synthwave jungle, we're not doing that. Well, I'm not doing that.
Synthwave jungle.
Shut the fuck up. It's EDM.
No, that's drum and bass, bro. That's trance, bro. No, I'm not playing that game. We're just saying EDM.
Synthwave jungle. That very well might be the name of the episode. Not gonna lie.
So Porter Robertson is EDM DJ. Oh,
No, go ahead.
EDM DJ, and each album that he makes sounds different from the last one. The first one I really jumped on was in 2011, Spitfire, when dubstep was becoming like a thing. So it's very, and it matches that very much. It's very blasting and it's very strong and it's very mechanical. And then slowly he's kind of morphed into 2014, his Worlds album. I would say it's very much anime techno. It feels like something that would play in an anime-based fighting video game. And it's very interesting. It's very beepy and boopy. And it's one of my favorite albums. But his 2021 Nature album absolutely blows my mind. It's very melodic. It's very melodic. It's very big in spaces, but at the same time, it's still very contained. He does this thing where he samples sounds of like streams and crickets and the wind blowing against grass, and it fills you. You feel like you're in that space. And during the lockdown, he was actually part of, it was called the Secret Sky Festival, where different EDM DJs set up a stage wherever, in their room, in a warehouse, and they played a set of whatever project they were working on. And if you can find it, the Secret Sky Porter Robertson set is absolutely amazing. It makes you cry. It's very heartfelt. And Nature is very much an album where it's like, hey, things are bad. You know, a lot of stuff happened, but I want you to look inside yourself and realize that things are going to be okay and that you can still do the things that you want to do. So give that a listen. Nature, Porter Robertson. And yeah, those are my.
Sampling nature, like streams and the wind, I can get behind. At least it's not a tennis racket in a train station.
Listen, you can continue to try this.
The
whole
money
Death
store
Grips
was
crusade.
trash. It was trash.
You could
It was
try.
trash.
It wasn't.
It was
It
trash.
flat out wasn't. Like
It was
you,
trash.
you could say you don't like it. You could
trash.
have that
Trash.
opinion.
It was trash.
But
It was trash.
It's not trash. MC
It was
Ride,
trash.
Zach Hill,
It was
and
trash.
whoever the third
It
person
was
is.
trash. It was trash.
Phenomenal.
Love me some Death Grips.
Death Grips,
Trash.
fantastic.
And you trash with them then.
I'm telling you, Lionel, a lot of people I'm gonna bring
Trash.
on here, they're
It's
not
trash.
gonna disagree with me.
I don't care.
You can dislike it, and that's fine.
I
Just
don't
because you dislike
care.
it doesn't make it trash.
Yeah,
Listen.
Death Grips is definitely an acquired taste.
It's not.
You know what? Because of that, I'm also gonna put in one last album just so I can fuck with you. So
Okay, I'm gonna give you a list of shit to listen to if that's the case.
definitely, I want this. So one of when I tell you this is my all-time favorite album, it's changed. I listen to it once, at least once a year. I make it a point to listen to this album because it is absolutely one of the best works of music, I believe. Because so imagine what it would be like if you wrote music for the sake of writing music, not in this idea that somebody's going to listen to it one day, not in this idea that you can make money off of it, but the idea of I love music so much and I love the ability of what I can do that I'm willing to write this thing that really means something to me. And it doesn't matter how people like it, as long as I believe I've stayed true to that meaning. And for me, that album is called I Just Got Back from the Discomfort and We're Doing Fine by the Brave Little Abacus. Brave Little Abacus.
That name.
The what?
Brave Little Abacus.
I've heard this name before.
This is definitely an album that you'll have to listen to on YouTube. And Brave Little Abacus is a Midwest emo indie band. And when they recorded this, you can tell somebody set a microphone up in the room and they said, go. And they recorded this album. And it's mixed and it's grainy. And they have like a solo that's played on a Fisher Price piano. They have samples from Malcolm in the Middle. This album changes the way I feel about music and the way I write music. And every time I listen to it, I come out feeling something different. And I will say 1,000% right now, if you at home are watching this and you listen to this album, 90% of you will not like this album. This is not for you. But the 10% of you that do.
What is the first part of the name of the album again? Because I'm not gonna be able to type it. Like I'm not gonna be able to write the whole thing. But I knew at least one of these albums you were gonna suggest had a long ass name. So every time I kept waiting on it. I kept waiting, and we got here. So what's the name of it? The full album.
Let me make sure I have it right. Okay, yeah. It's called Just Got Back from the Discomfort. We're All Right.
Okay. So I also have a music suggestion for all of the individuals who think that Death Grips is trash. I'm gonna try you on a different person. Or if you haven't heard, another similar-ish JPEG thing. Or not JPEG thing, but that is who I'm. JPEG Mafia.
Fucking JPEG Mafia.
JPEG Mafia. Absolutely fantastic. It's got lyrics, Lionel, like lyrics you can actually hear. That makes you feel any better. A little more coherent. It's not as disjointed.
I don't know if I want to give another one of your albums a chance because you didn't give Plies a chance when I asked you to listen to Plies.
No, I did give Plies a chance. I just couldn't get fucking through it. I tried. I couldn't do it. It was too slow. I just couldn't do it. I gave it a chance. I listened to half the album.
That's not a chance.
That is a chance. I listened to 10 songs.
Not a chance.
This is crazy.
Not a chance. I listened to the full Money Store before I told you it was trash.
It's objectively not trash, but I understand. You don't like it, and I get that, and I recognize that. Okay, so I'm gonna throw it out there. Thomas, you seem familiar with JPEG Mafia, so you probably know where I'm going. Veteran by JPEG Mafia.
Veteran.
Fucking fantastic. Legitimately.
All right. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I have about let's see, there are 19 songs. I would say at least 8 of them are songs that I listen to regularly. Like, Veteran is fucking fantastic by JPEG Mafia. So Lionel, if you get a chance, you should listen to Peggy. JPEG Mafia, Veteran. It's Death Grips like, but it's very toned down Death Grips. It's very coherent. Like, you can actually understand what's happening. It's not a bunch of random fucking sounds. There's a coherent music.
So you agree that the Money Store is just a bunch of random fucking sounds?
I agree that if you take a bunch of random, System Blower is Venus Williams swinging the tennis racket at a train station.
It's so good.
Sean, have you ever been in a train station?
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not a sound I want to hear in my music. I work with trains all day, every day, and that's a stupid sound to sample.
Hacker is the most incoherent group of sounds ever. It literally makes no sense.
Sure, you're literally putting me to sleep talking about this album.
Bitch Please is incredible. I go through the whole thing.
Look, I got a tear flowing down my face, thinking about
Tom Chris.
like thinking about this album.
I really couldn't care less because you made me listen to that garbage ass Plies. Again, I'm not going to sit there and say it's objectively trash, but I didn't like it.
We needed that album in 2007.
You needed that album
in
2007.
The South
needed to never hear it.
That South needed that album.
That's fine. You can feel that all you want. I'm not going to try and take that away from you, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like it. I'm not going to say it's trash. I'm just going to say I don't like it. See, that's the difference between you and I. You don't like something and say it's trash, just like hot sauce. You don't like hot sauce, so you say it's trash. However, I'm going to sit there and say, I'm not going to say it's objectively trash. I'm just going to say I don't like it.
You think that makes you like the better person or something? It really doesn't.
No, but I mean, if you're going to sit there and say like an album,
I'm not going to say it's trash.
An album of the Money Store that has across the board, that is across the board a better like critique than anything Plies can put out. Yeah, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. You can look up reviews on the Money Store. It'll constantly be better than anything that Plies puts out. I promise you that.
Okay. You can have the tennis racket in the train station. I'll take Plies all day, every day.
Yeah, you can have it, whatever.
Absolutely.
Fuck that is.
Absolutely. I'm not even gonna suggest the album now.
It's not my problem. I don't know.
I'm gonna suggest the album now.
Y'all should listen to Veteran by JPEG Mafia though. If you have it though, that's just
Give it a
fantastic.
listen. It's really good.
It's just fantastic. 2 out of 3 people on the podcast say you should listen to it, so you should listen to it. The one person says you should listen to Plies.
The third person to say listen to something, I don't know, good.
I mean,
anything.
I mean, it is good.
Anything.
But, you know, again, very, very, very. I wouldn't sit there and suggest something that didn't have like high, you know, like critical ratings. I'm not to that level of music yet, but you know.
Oh, by the way, before we get out of here, I just want to just state for the record, Sean, that nobody got into the comments last week and gave us a bar from the 80s.
They did not.
So
not a one.
So our claim that the 2000s was better for hip hop than the 90s and the 80s is going to stand. Okay.
It's going to stand.
Cool.
Simple as that.
We can agree on something tonight.
There you go. Fantastic. Here we go.
Well, people, that's an episode.
Thomas, thank you.
Are being like super long, but we know the folks who really listening to these super long podcasts are really rocking with us. And if you're not, then shame on you. Because what are you doing with your life? Like playing Call of Duty. Like you
put this on while you play Call of Duty.
I'm about to say you can listen to this while you play Call of Duty.
You're only getting 4 kills anyway. You be on the game all day, then go to work at Amazon, like then clock in, like all this stuff to get on Call of Duty and like get like 4 kills. Get on 2K with your my player and you've been 79 overall for like 3 weeks. So like, and you had to buy the VC to be 79 overall. So that's how trash you are. So
damn, we insult
Man.
people now.
That's like I said. And we're not even gonna talk about Madden because anybody in here want to step to anybody in here on Madden. Sean, me, I don't even know if Thomas plays Madden, but I wouldn't step to him.
No, but I'm a semi-pro Smash Bros player, so
you lost me.
Who's your main, Thomas?
Oh, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
My main, Mr. Game & Watch.
There you go. I changed mine recently. I'm a Ridley player now.
Understandable.
I changed from K. Rule. There's a
meaty boy. He's so good, but yeah, that's a whole nother day.
Yeah.
So while the fucking nerds talk about their game, there was a commenter who commented first on our not the last podcast, but the podcast before last.
I know exactly who that is.
I'm talking to you. So you the man, all right?
You are the man.
You the man.
Absolutely, sir.
All right. So I don't know who we have next week. Maybe we have nobody. Maybe we have somebody. I don't know. Maybe you got to stick around and find out.
Maybe we split this episode into 2 parts.
Maybe we do.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe we do.
But
be that as
which
it may,
way.
I'm Lionel. That's Sean. That's Thomas. This is But Peep. This the podcast.
Check out my album on Spotify,
please,
and anywhere where you can download music. It's called Love Songs for Cryptids.
It will be in the comment section. I mean, not the comments, in the
right
the
in the
description. Yeah, whatever.
Yo,
something down there. Hit the show more button and it'll be there.
I'm
sure it'll be there.
I got you, Thomas. Here we go. We're about to do a promo right now. Unprecedented. Okay.
All right.
Unprecedented. First one we've done.
You got a YouTube?
No, I don't have a YouTube. But you can follow me on Instagram at ukulele brother. And then from the Instagram, you can find my Spotify page. You can find my Facebook page, where I sometimes post shows, but where I mostly post memes.
A lot of memes.
So
Be
many
prepared.
memes.
Here we go. First, But Peep this podcast promotion. Between May through the end of the month. Okay. So from when you hear this podcast until June 1st, everybody who subscribes to Thomas's Instagram will be entered into a drawing for a, I don't know, $25 gift card.
And I'll throw
in a physical copy of my album, Love Songs for Cryptids.
Oh,
is that a cassette?
It's a cassette, but then.
Hey, yo, hold on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Fuck all that. Hey, yo, send me. I want one of those.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I should get one of those anyway. Like, that's pretty cool.
I also feel like I should get one of those because I'm early supporter of the album. Early supporter of the album.
So check this out. Hot dogs are sandwiches. So can I get one of those?
Yes. Definitely. Yes. Now, take that, Sean. Take that.
So, so $25 gift card, copy of the album, hard copy, from now on until the end of the month. Follow Thomas on Instagram. And Thomas is gonna keep check because he's gonna be able to see this.
Yeah,
so
I'll be looking.
And then you got to listen to the next podcast, the first podcast in June, to see if you want. So,
all right, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Hey, who got a birthday coming up?
My boyfriend does. It's in June.
What?
It's in June.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, not like in May, but
you're gonna bring Deontay onto the podcast?
Yeah, he got mad at me the other day because I didn't.
Yeah.
I haven't fully invited him yet. So if you want to extend the invite.
If you invite Deontay, does that mean I have to invite Mel?
Probably.
So we're gonna have the relationship podcast.
We're gonna do them at the same time.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one. I like that idea.
It's something we can talk about.
Listen, okay, you're gonna have to ask my wife because I'm not doing it.
Okay, fair.
Never run.
But until then, we'll continue to keep you on your toes.
That's Sean. That's Thomas. This is But Peep. This is the podcast. Appreciate y'all. See you next week.
Have a good one.
Am I still the godfather